baseball on Sportsnet as you follow Shane Bieber out to the mound live here at Rogers Center. Again, it took a little bit longer than anyone would have hoped, but if they get a healthy, effective Shane Bieber for what is in effect now the second half of the season, we're almost to the midway point, that is a huge boost for these Toronto Blue Jays. Let's check out the lineup for the visiting Astros. No Jeremy Pena. Remember, he left the game with a hamstring issue last night. Jose Altuve is up at the leadoff spot today. Isaac Paredes is in the cleanup spot. And of course, the guy you've always got to focus on when you're going against Houston is Yordan Alvarez. Another look at Bieber. Boy, it has to seem like forever for him, Caleb, since he was able to stand on that mound.
31-year-old making his first start of his 9th major league season. You might see a little bit of gold on that brown glove. Yes, he is a tremendous fielder, but it's all about getting to that glove side of his part of his game, getting to the down and in spot towards the lefties, down and away spot towards the righties. I'm constantly looking at his slider shape. If he can get that slider over, he's going to be in good spots, and that's what he told John Schneider. He loved the shape of his slider on his rehab stints, and that was what really led him to believe he was ready to go for the season debut for him. Behind him on defense today, this middle game of a 3-game set, Sanchez is in left, Varsho in center, Miles Straw in right field today. Around the horn, Okamoto at third, Jimenez at short, Urias making his season debut and Blue Jays debut at second base, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and Valenzuela behind the plate.
And again, with Jeremy Pena not in the lineup, although the Astros appear to have gotten the best possible news, they're calling it a hamstring cramp, and he is potentially even available off the bench today, but he's not in there to start the game. So Altuve, who hit in the 5 spot in last night's game, will lead it off. 236, 8 home runs on the season. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI single last night. And a first pitch cutter from Shane Bieber will miss outside for ball 1, and he'll miss away again, this time with a 4-seamer to fall behind 2-0. On the spectrum from power to finesse, Shane Bieber obviously skews to the finesse end of the spectrum. This is lined into left center, and this one will get past Sanchez to the wall, and it will be a double for Altuve to begin the ball game.
Well, Altuve's gonna reach out on this outside fastball and hook it into left field, but in my opinion, Dan, this ball's got to be cut off, and it's about 2 or 3 bounces, and this ball has to be cut off in left field and held Altuve to a single. Just a late break, not a great route from Sanchez in left, and before you know it, Houston's cooking with leadoff double.
Might have been 2 anyways, but certainly 2 obviously when it gets by him. And now here is Alvarez with a runner out at second. Alvarez 1 for 2 with a couple of walks in last night's game. And Bieber misses just high for ball 1. Alvarez, the major league leader in OPS, tied for first in the American League in home runs, and second in the American League in batting average. So you're talking about a legitimate triple crown threat here in Yordan Alvarez. He's 3 for 5 with a double in his career against Bieber. Bieber made 5 rehab starts, 2 of them down in the low minors, 3 of them with the Buffalo. In his last one, he gave up 5 runs in 5+ innings. Nobody seemed particularly concerned about it. The one prior, 5 scoreless innings. He got up to 80 pitches his last time out. This is lifted to shallow left field. Sanchez is in and will make the catch. 1 down, and again, John Schneider said if all goes well, Bieber could get up around 90 pitches in this game.
Said he trusted his right-hander. Just hearing from him after that rehab start, he said he liked the shape of his pitches, he liked how he felt, he liked how he was recovering, and even though the results weren't there, John Schneider said, I'm going to trust a guy like him, a guy like Cease, a guy like Gausman. They know their body, trust that they're ready to go.
1 down, and now the first baseman, Christian Walker. He's a power threat, 18 home runs. And in there with a fastball for a strike. So Bieber, we've seen some 93s, and that's what you want to see, right? That's about where you'd like to see Bieber with that four-seamer.
Yep, that's a good number. I think if he's really feeling good, you might see some 4, 4.5s, 5s, but 3's a good number for me.
I like how you baseball guys take the 90 out of it. You've got to take a shortcut and just call it a 4
Sure.
instead of 94.
Yep.
Cutting corners, Caleb.
Yeah, trying. Hopefully he's cutting a lot of corners today, because when you combine 93 with his ability to locate and take the right-handed hitter's eyes all the way to the outer part, that's when he really is effective.
0-2. And he bounces one in, blocked by Brandon Valenzuela, who gets the call behind the plate today. A look back at Altuve. Urias trying to keep him close out at second. And now the 1-2. Bounced in, blocked again, but the runner is going and will be in there. Good base running by Altuve. It bounced just far enough away from Valenzuela that Altuve takes advantage.
And that's just heads-up baseball. Watch Altuve. As soon as he sees this ball in the dirt, just the minute he saw that ball hit the dirt, he took off. And these are the little inches throughout a game that if you're really playing a heightened awareness type of base running style, when you see that ball in the dirt, you can take a chance.
Wild pitch charged to Bieber. Infield in for the Blue Jays here in the first. Now the 2-2. Fouled right off the end of the bat there by Walker to stay alive, and he's looking at the end of the bat to make sure he didn't chip that thing.
See this ball in the outer hedge. Barely catches a seam.
Bieber sets again. And again the 2-2. Got him. Got him to chase a change down. A big strikeout for out number 2.
You know, Dan, that was his third changeup of the sequence to Christian Walker. Typically stays four-seam slider, but very effective pitch as it starts down the middle and starts to dive and dart down and into the right-handed Christian Walker.
So now with 2 outs, the infield can back up, and Bieber will face Isaac Paredes, the cleanup hitter. Big swing and a miss. Paredes is always looking to pull the ball, hit it in the air, down the left field line. In theory, should he be susceptible to cutters and sliders away if Bieber locates?
Absolutely. Get him off the end of the bat, low to the left side of the infield.
Trying to get a chase. 1-1 the count.
But Dan, with that being said, he knows that Bieber's probably going to try and live on the outer half, and those guys get really close to the plate as Paredes is. His toe is almost on the chalk line, and so he's got extension, uses a longer bat. He can reach that outer half, so you've got to keep him honest on the inner half, or else you won't be able to throw it far enough away from him.
Up the middle and past a diving Urias into center. That'll be an RBI single as Altuve comes in, and Houston's got an early 1-0 lead.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. If you don't do some work on the inner half throughout an at-bat, these guys will be able to reach out over. This ball is not on the plate. It's on the outer part of the plate. Watch where it's located. Watch Valenzuela having to reach for this ball. It's off the plate, off the end, but he's able to get a little bit of barrel to baseball.
Just 77 miles an hour off the bat. Soft contact, but in a good spot up the middle. Houston leads. And here's Yainer Diaz, the catcher. Missed about 6 weeks with an oblique injury, hitting .237, just 2 homers. Average year for him the last 3, about .280 with 20 homers. He bounces one foul third base side. It's 0-2. Christian Vasquez is the backup. He was playing a lot when Diaz was on the IL, and I would imagine we'll see Vasquez in the final game of the series tomorrow night. Guy who's been around a long time, and a lot of those years with the Boston Red Sox. 0-2, and it's in the air to center field Varsho is still going back, but he's got room. And that will retire the side as the Astros get one. Here on a nice sunny Tuesday afternoon with George Springer DHing and leading off again. A couple of guys normally in there, not in there today. No Lucas, no Clement. We'll tell you more momentarily, but there is Kazuma Okamoto elevated up to the cleanup spot today. He's been hot, hitting for average, hitting for power, now leads all American League third baseman in both home runs and RBIs. Again, the Blue Jay debut for Luis Urias. He is in the 7th spot. And they'll face a righty, Caleb, who pitched in Japan last year, Peter Lambert.
Lambert, 29 years old, former second-round pick of Colorado in 2015. Signed a minor league deal with the Astros this offseason. Made the team out of spring training because of all of the injuries to their rotation. He's kind of been an unsung hero in that he's kind of saved their rotation in terms of depth. 6-pitch mix, throws a bunch of different pitches. Very similar in terms of their usage and percentage, but he's a huge reverse split Dan guy.
Meaning righties hit him a lot better than lefties. You would expect it to be the opposite. He's had walk issues with lefties, but righties have done almost all the damage, the doubles, the homers. As George Springer will look one over and take a strike. Springer went 2 for 4 with a walk in last night's game. And in his last 10 games is hitting .351 with an OPS of almost 1100. That's called high, and it's 1-1. After Springer, it'll be Guerrero and then Sanchez. Fouled back, 1-2. We mentioned no Nathan Lucas today. Miles Straw is getting a start. Part of that is that Lambert's a reverse splits guy. Part of that is maybe still just monitoring Lucas a little bit, hamstring injury, and giving him a day every now and again. Clement's hip is a bit of an issue, so they're going to give him a day. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, a slider to get Springer. Ernie, John Schneider says, is okay. They're not contemplating a 10-day IL stint or anything. He played yesterday. He'll probably play tomorrow, but they do want to give him a break every now and again. As John Schneider will tell you, every day that you ask, it's a long season.
And I'm sure that's probably best for Ernie. Saw him running out of the box a little bit yesterday. Didn't look fully 100%.
So Guerrero moves up into the 2 spot today. Vladdy went 2 for 4 with a sac fly last night. Didn't hit the ball particularly hard in any of the at-bats, but did come up with a couple of base hits, one of them an infield hit, and the sac fly in the 4th, one of 3 sacrifice flies the Blue Jays had on the night. Edwin Encarnacion spending time with Guerrero and others around the cage during batting practice, as Guerrero thought that one might have been a little bit low, but it's 1-2. Lambert ready to go to work again, and that one comes in very high. As you mentioned, this guy's been a bit of a savior for them with all the injuries they had. They just got Hunter Brown back. They don't have Christian Javier. They don't have Ronel Blanco. They don't have Lance McCullers Jr. This is in the air to right, and Cam Smith back into the shadows to make the catch, 2 down.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Lambert today for the Astros. In left field, Taylor Trammell. Bryce Matthews is in center field. Cam Smith, former first-round pick of the Cubs in '24, making his 73rd start in right field. Paredes, Delgado, Altuve, Christian Walker, 0 errors in 78 games at first base, and Yainer Diaz behind the plate.
2 down, and here is Jesus Sanchez, who hit 7th last night, but with the batting order looking different. He is up into the 3 spot. And even after that first pitch fastball up and in, foul tipped it. It's 0-1. Solid offensive numbers for Sanchez as he lines one up the middle, of base hit. And I was just about to say, and excellent numbers here at home. For whatever reason, he has done a really good work with the bat here at home, and all 7 of his home runs have come here at Rogers Center.
Gets a changeup from Lambert and just goes right up the middle. Pitch trying to fade a little bit down and away. You see the configuration for the Astros there, just splits the defenders.
So a 2-out base runner to bring up Okamoto. The big 3-run home run Saturday at Wrigley, a home run and a double and a walk as well in last night's game. He is striking out a lot. He has struck out 100 times this year, one of only 7 players to do that. But Caleb, if he winds up with 30-some homers and close to 100 RBIs, I don't think anybody cares.
Success.
Takes it low, 2-0.
And let's not forget, most of his tenure as a Blue Jay has come without protection. The likes of Kirk, Barger, Springer started off really slow, spent some time on the aisle. He was kind of forced into being the guy pretty quickly, with Vladdy struggling to kind of find his way as well. A lot to put on his shoulders, and he's handled it well.
How about a 2-0 slider there from Lambert to get back in the count? As you said, a lot of different pitches. You never know. You can't sit on anything with this guy, right?
Kitchen sink type, and nothing that scares you away, but with elite command, he can really yo-yo you and push and pull you back and forth.
Better numbers so far this year with Houston than he had in Japan last year.
Pretty good minor league signing. Extreme third base side of the rubber, trying to create a little bit more deception to the right-handed hitters.
Sanchez draws a throw. Be interesting to see if the Blue Jays can do to Lambert what they did to Brown, get the pitch count up, try to wear him down, get him out of there. The Astros had to use their bullpen a lot in last night's game. There's ball 4. That's a help. And as we mentioned last night, they've got a 6-man rotation right now, which means they've only got 7 relievers. 4 of them worked in last night's game, a couple probably unavailable. Joe Espada needs some innings and a Lambert.
If you can get Lambert out after 3 or 4, even 5, you're going to pigeonhole the Astros into really depleting that bullpen. Play the long game sometimes throughout a 3-game series, especially when you only get 3 from your starter.
Hitting in the 5 spot today, Brandon Valenzuela. Sanchez at second, Okamoto at first. And he fouls it off, a roller over towards the third base dugout. He was out in front and over the top of a changeup. The Blue Jays trying to put something together with 2 outs. As you can see from those numbers, this has not been a strength of theirs so far this year. Challenge coming.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. The Astros have been awfully good at this year, but not here. That one is low.
Confirmed the pitch of the ball. Houston has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Astros down to 1 challenge. And the count 1-1 on Valenzuela. Fastball, and he fouled it straight back. 1-2, up to 95 on that one from Lambert.
He's featuring a good fastball for the top of the zone. Check out the stance. Very simple, compact move for Valenzuela, and that's when things started to go well for him, when he shortened up that leg kick, got a little bit more into his legs, simplified his move to the baseball. That slowed the baseball down, allowed him to recognize pitches earlier and quicker, and then use his brute strength to just make contact.
And we have seen some good takes on changeups from Brandon Valenzuela, not just today, but really for many weeks now. He does not get fooled by that a lot.
The quality of the take will tell you how well the hitter is seeing the baseball. If you don't see a big flinch, he's seeing it well right out of the hand.
Popped up foul. This will get out of play. Making him throw some pitches. Can they do some damage against him here in the first? After a couple were out, Jesus Sanchez with a base hit, Kazuma Okamoto with a walk. Again, now the 2-2, and that's low. He tried the change again, and again he takes it. And now it's a full count. Varsho on deck. And now Sanchez gets a running start, and that extra step or two could be the difference between safe and out at home plate if Valenzuela comes up with a base hit. There go the runners, and a check swing. He did not go, says Bill Miller. And now the bases are loaded. That's a pretty mature plate appearance right there.
That's a pro plate appearance from a rookie. When Valenzuela first came up, he would have chased 3 different times right there. He would have been walking back to the dugout, but he's feeling confident. We just showed you or told you that the takes will tell you. Those were so good. Strike to ball takes that he's not even flinching. And now he sets his teammate up, passes the baton, which they've done the last couple of games, Dan.
Dalton Varsho hitting in the 6th spot today. As you can see, Varsho has 6 career grand slams. He hit a 3-run home run on Saturday at Wrigley. The Blue Jays were down 5-0. His 3-run shot got him back in the game. Then the 5-run 8th inning to take the lead and win it. Hunter Brown last night, big fastball at the top of the zone guy. Lambert doesn't have the same kind of stuff. Let's see if he leaves one where Varsho can really do some damage with it. He tried to go up with a fastball, but too high. He looks a little frustrated out there on the mound, doesn't he? Probably with himself at where that last pitch was. Fouled off, 1-1.
Yeah, last time out versus Detroit for Lambert, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. You've got to be efficient with your pitches to get that deep. Already here in the 1st inning, 25 pitches. They're working him.
And Varsho pops it up back of the plate. Diaz having a look, but this one will get into the seats. That might have been the one right there. Right?
Yeah, that's that. He got a little steep on it. Steep meaning that bat head kind of coming down and across the baseball. Watch the ball. It's about a ball and a half underneath. See how he got steep? See how that bat head finished underneath that ball? That's him trying to get on top of it.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the 1-2. And he fouls another one back. He had to go up and get that one. That was above the zone, but protecting with a couple of strikes on him. Shane Bieber in that dugout for a long time. This has been a long bottom of the 1st. The 1-2 again. And it's hit foul up the right side. He's all over that cutter.
Oof. That's hope they throw that again. That's a good pitch for Varsho to hit, especially after you've kind of climbed the ladder and you're chasing up top. Cutters. Dangerous pitch right there.
Varsho grinding here. Lambert sets. And he got him. He did get him to chase that high fastball. Varsho strikes out, and the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded.
To be in a major league. It's up to 93, so he was pleased about that and told me his command will only get better. The veteran right-hander, Dan, exactly what this rotation needs right now. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. They need stability, predictability, consistency, things like that. Hey, Cody Ponce, an unexpected visitor. Ponce, of course, the knee injury way back in the first week, I guess, of the regular season. His first and only start in the 3rd inning of that first one. Ross Atkins met with the media today. One of the questions he was asked was, is there a chance for Ponce to return before year's end? And Ross said he would be exceeding expectations if that were to be the case. So it is unlikely, it seems, that Ponce is able to return this year. an arm they were really counting on. And, you know, you never knew what you were going. There was no way to predict what kind of a year he would have, but coming off an incredible year in Korea, winning the equivalent of both the Cy Young and the MVP over there, and a guy obviously they will count on to be a big part of their rotation next year. Good changeup there, fouled off. It remains 1-2 on Cam Smith, first round pick of the Cubs back in 2024. And then when the Astros traded Kyle Tucker to the Cubs that offseason, Smith was one of 3 players who went the other way. Popped up. Remember, it's a windy one. We don't talk about that a lot here at Rogers Center, but Luis Urias will make the play easily. Back down to Hazel.
Dan, I asked John Schneider how Cody Ponce is doing. He said, well, he's checking in with team doctors. The brace is off that right leg. And I said, so is he here just to hang? He said, you know what, when you're rehabbing an injury, it's a pretty lonely existence. So he is here when the schedule allows to hang with the boys. Guys.
Hazel, thank you. I remember the last time we saw Ponce, I think, was when the Blue Jays, hang on, we got a challenge. Remember, they've lost one already. Taylor Trammell is challenging here. Nobody on, second inning.
First pitch.
And he is wrong.
Positive return pitch is a ball. Houston has 1 challenge remaining.
And the Astros are out of challenges early, just like the Blue Jays were last night. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a ball. My mistake. It was a ball low. Forgive me. So he is correct, and they still have 1. 1-1 now on Trammell. But back to Ponce. I think the last time we saw him was when the Blue Jays were in Anaheim, and I remember him telling me then, I hope they let me come up for the longer homestands because I really want to be with the guys. And he is a be with the guys kind of guy. He loves being around the guys.
And I think it's a big deal for him to be around his teammates. Remember, he just getting back to the big league kind of atmosphere. That's a huge deal. Talking sequences, talking to different pitchers, listening to the scouting reports as they come in, and just the lingo. It's all different. You can go through a spring training and there's a little bit of similarity there, but once you get to the big leagues, you just feel the environment is totally different. And to be a part of it, even if you're not pitching, to get comfortable in that environment. He was, what, a couple weeks into it, and before he could even really get settled in, he was on the IL.
Yeah, the 3rd inning of his first and only regular season start as a Blue Jay. 2-2 the count on Trammell. Lines it hard, but foul right side. For Shane Bieber, Hazel talked a little bit about some of the work he did in October of last year. He started 2 very notable games for the Blue Jays in the postseason a year ago. Against Seattle in the ALCS, the Blue Jays lost games 1 and 2 here in Toronto. This is skied to right. Straw looks like he's got room. Kind of shading it off to the side because of the sun to make the play. 2 down. So they're down 2-0 to Seattle going to Seattle. And Shane Bieber started game 3 of that series. 6 innings, 2 runs, struck out 8. The Blue Jays got their first win, would eventually go on to win the series. And then in the World Series, remember that crazy game 3, an 18-inning game. The Dodgers won. How deflating is it to lose an 18-inning game in the World Series? Bieber starts game 4 in LA. 5 1/3, gave up 1 run. They get the win there to square the series. Here's another ball popped up, this one for Guerrero. And he's got it, and that's a 3 up, 3 down. Top of the 2nd for Bieber. And they have done so by being one of the better teams in baseball over the last 30 games. I know a lot of people might look at this and say, really? But yes, they are 18-12 in their last 30. They were 6 games under 500 30 games ago. They were 21-27. They are now 39-39. Not running off big, long winning streaks. As now Luis Urias in his first at bat as a Blue Jay Fillets one over the head of the third baseman, Isaac Paredes, and Arias all smiles. The 8-year veteran who came to the Blue Jays in a deal from Arizona a couple of days ago for cash considerations, 29 years of age from Mexico, and he's got himself a base hit.
Get off me, ball. That's what a lot of players in the dugout will say when the ball is getting really close to you and hit it right off the fingertips, but get a hit out of it. Hey, 1 for 1.
Miles Straw. Straw in there again, at least in part because of Lambert's reverse splits. Miles had one of the 3 sacrifice flies last night, and he had that big walk Saturday at Wrigley that got that whole crazy 5-run 8th inning going. I like how you can see when we do a close-up on Straw between pitches. Where's the third baseman? How big's the hole on the right side? His eyes are always moving all over the place because he's got the adaptability to try to force it one way or another.
Adjustability in swing and path. So you're making all these calculations. Would it be a good time if the third baseman's back? Nope. Check down. Where's the hole? The hole's open over to the right side. Is he going to pitch me soft away? Should I sit back and look for that? If I do, I got to be disciplined on the inner half. These are all calculations he's making in split-second times.
2-1. Thought about it. Takes it just high. Ball 3. He is patient up there. He's not afraid to take a borderline pitch until he gets to 2 strikes. Urias aboard. And Straw with a bouncer to third. To second one, but Straw's going to be safely across on a fielder's choice.
Totally, the changeup's probably the pitch that Lambert likes to go to, and he goes to it again in a disadvantaged count. Straw just hits the top of the baseball, but gets out of the box well enough to prevent the double play.
So it's an out, but they do have a speedier runner at first right now as Straw is there. And hitting in the 9th spot today is Andres Jimenez. Fastball hit hard down the right field line. A fair ball. Straw racing to third. He'll be held. It's a double for Jimenez.
Right off the bat, Dan, I thought it was going to be action at home plate. Fastball in the outer half. Jimenez just beats it to the spot, hooks it right down that line. Watch Straw, just a little bit of hesitation right there, and that's all it takes. It's just 1 or 2 half-step seconds of your step that can prevent you from being able to round all the way into home plate.
So it's second and third. The infield is back. A ground ball will get a run home. Springer almost gets hit. Ball 1. You will see this sometimes with the runners at second and third, because if the infield is in and a ball gets through, 2 runs will score. So teams will often play the infield back and try to stay out of the big inning, conceding 1 on a ground ball. Does a George Springer change his approach at all in this kind of a situation?
With talking to George behind the batting cage every single day now, he just seems to have a one-track mindset in that I'm going to hit it as hard as I can and just see what happens.
Up high, ball 2.
I think, Dan, when he's going well and he's seeing it like a beach ball, then he'll start to try and manipulate a couple things. But right now he's got that new setup, as Hazel was talking about yesterday. The hands are lower, trying to relax those shoulder muscles and get a little bit more speed out of his swing.
At the knees for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Good pitch by Lambert. Everything in this at bat a fastball, either the 2-seamer or the 4-seamer. Caught out at short by Delgado. The runners get back, 2 down. A right-on-right changeup, Caleb, that looks like it got in just enough.
And it's because it's a high floater. Probably wants that pitch down in the zone, but as it's high, it's actually moving more towards the barrel, towards the label of the bat for Springer.
So the Blue Jays starting off today the way they started off last night. Base runners all over the place. And another ball caught, this time a diving catch by Paredes at third to take away a bid for an extra base hit from Guerrero. And the Blue Jays come up empty. Good contact by Vladdy, but an even better play by Paredes, and two men are stranded. Around the corner, and the outfield district is the perfect place to watch a game in the sun. Enjoy your favorite general admission spots at the ballpark, all with one ticket. And tickets are available now, so head to bluejays.com/outfield district today. Underway in the top of the third, 1-0 Astros. Raynel Delgado shows bunt and looks at a strike from Shane Bieber. Delgado, the shortstop, hitting in the 9 spot. They got him in a deal for cash considerations from Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago, and he's got himself a leadoff base hit. Again, no Jeremy Pena in the lineup today. Delgado getting the start at short. Bieber making his first regular season outing with the Blue Jays this year. Doesn't like that baseball. Once through the order, what have you thought of Bieber's stuff?
Yeah, I think it's the stuff wise looks good. It's about command and continuing to get his pitches where he wants them. Oftentimes you'll see him asking Valenzuela, did that get to the far edge of the corner? It's all about command with Bieber, but in terms of velocity, in terms of shapes, I like it. Just want to tighten up his dispersion in terms of where he misses.
Top of the order, Jose Altuve, who doubled and scored in the first. He took third on a wild pitch and then came in on a base hit by Isaac Paredes. The Astros with a 2-out run producing hit, RBI single in the first. The Blue Jays left the bases loaded in the first and 2 in scoring position in the second. It was one of those games last night, and they did win the ball game. They did just enough, and the pitching was very good. Dylan Cease in the bullpen, but that was a 4-2 game that felt like it should have been a lot more than that in favor of the Blue Jays. In there, 1-1.
Yeah, you can't depend on sacrifice flies to win you many ball games. If they were able to get a hit or two, they could have busted that game open, led by 4, 5, 6. Because once you open the floodgates, it seems to continue to compound.
And that is the slider Shane Bieber likes to throw. That shape, that spot.
Short, late movements is what he relies on, especially after a fastball in the inner half. You can change the angle, you can change the depth. That's the type of swings we're typically seeing when he is on with that pitch.
The problem with Jose Altuve, he'll get hits on that type of swing, maybe more than anybody else in baseball.
He's so unpredictable, Dan, and you think you have him set up and he hits one off the end, or he jump swings like he did last night. Jump swung against Tyler Rogers on a high slider up and away.
Down to third. Nice play, Okamoto, and they'll turn the double play. Boy, that was not routine. A tricky hop, and Kaz Okamoto made a very nice play to start it.
Infield coaches will always tell your infielders to don't get beat under. Start your glove underneath, and you see how he reached all the way back behind him. That's perfect technique. Good transition over there at second base by Urias. Good stretch by Vladdy. Bailed Bieber out. What a play.
And now Yordan Alvarez with a fly ball deep left center. Tracking it, Varsho, and it's off the wall. Up with it, Sanchez. Alvarez a double, and is Varsho okay? A little bit slow to get up, but tells Sanchez he's all right. It'll be a 2-out double for Yordan Alvarez.
Ball is really carrying here at Rogers Center. Knuckle curve from Bieber. You could see him trying to find his spatial awareness where he's at. Just can't complete the play right there. A little bit of hesitation possibly. Tough play, but I think he wants that one back.
So a runner at second, 2 down for Christian Walker, who struck out in the first. Bieber will look back at Alvarez. And now the 1-0. Bouncer up the third baseline, foul. From Bieber, John Schneider, Pete Walker, if they can get 5, hopefully 6 innings, keep you in games. 2 runs, 3 runs. They're not asking him to be their number 1.
Exactly.
They're just asking him to be a regular guy, lighten the load on the bullpen, give them a chance to win, be the guy that he was last year.
100%. There was a time when he could carry a staff. He had elite stuff with elite command. The fastball velocity was a little bit higher, a little bit sharper break on the off-speed pitches, but come in here, eat innings, be a stabilizing force so that you can maneuver the bullpen in a way that doesn't put them in harm's way or danger.
This is down and away, ball 3.
Allow your manager to know that you're going to eat 5 or 6 at a minimum, and if you have everything going right, maybe you get into that third time through 6th, 7th inning. But no 1 inning starts, no 2 inning starts, no blow-ups.
Ground ball out to short. Jimenez has it, and Bieber pitches around that 2-out double. Got a very nice double play start from Okamoto as well, and it's still 1-0. In a position to advance to round 2. Fans can vote for position players to 5 times per day, and you have helped Ernie Clement be the American League's leading vote getter so far. Head to BlueJays.com/vote to cast your ballots today. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Ernie Clement are leading. Kazuma Okamoto is second behind Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay. If you are first or second, you would advance to the second round, and then it's just the top 2 guys get voted on to see who will be the starter. Clement's got an enormous lead. Guerrero's extended the lead, but if it's him and Ben Rice of the Yankees, and Rice obviously having a great year, you know, you could easily foresee Yankee fans helping Ben Rice to the starter spot. To me, the third base one is really interesting. I mean, Okamoto's numbers with this hot streak he's been on the last few weeks, he is now squarely in the conversation of being deserving
for sure
to be at that All-Star game. One guy who is always there at third base is injured right now in Jose Ramirez of Cleveland. So even if Ramirez were to be voted in or chosen or anything like that, he would need an injury replacement. Blue Jay fans have certainly made their presence felt in the early balloting. And remember, John Schneider is the manager for the All-Star team. It's the World Series managers who manage in the All-Star game the next year. The coaching staff will be there as well.
It's probably fun to do at least once, manage an All-Star game, and then kind of get your one and done, and then take your 3 or 4 days off next year if you make it back.
Good changeup by Lambert to get Sanchez for the first out here in the bottom of the third. Okamoto's numbers, when you look at them with Caminero, Miguel Vargas of the White Sox, like there are other guys having good years, but Okamoto's, he's there. He's right in the conversation. And here he is. He walked in the first.
It was such a good play at third base. That ball had top spin off the bat of Altuve and really rounding out to be a solid player.
This is popped up and may be playable for Walker, the first baseman. He's got room, and that's out number 2. Two down here, bottom three, and now Brandon Valenzuela, who worked Lambert for a very good walk, a very mature at bat, as we called it in the first inning. That loaded the bases, but then Varsho struck out to end the inning. Paredes in at third, the rest of the infield backed up. A curveball in for a strike. Don't see a lot of 4 o'clock starts here in Toronto. You can see the shadows. Saturdays are 3 o'clock starts, but this is an unusual 4 o'clock start because of a World Cup match going on later tonight, just to try to deal with the traffic flow downtown. Two. Bounced in.
Yeah, Lambert threw 29 pitches in the first inning. That offering right there was his 51st, so almost 2 innings. Able to kind of recapture a hold or grasp on that pitch count. And these are the types of pitchers that have kind of given the Blue Jays fits from time to time. I think if his fastball, Lambert's that is, was in that 92-93 range, he wouldn't be as effective, but he's holding a good fastball today, 94-95, and that just makes you respect that fastball velocity, and then he starts to yo-yo you with all the slow stuff underneath.
Just off the outside corner, 2-2. Boy, another close take and a changeup in a really good spot. He is seeing the ball well.
And as a catcher trying to call pitches against a guy with this type of take, it really makes you scratch your head and think, was he sitting it or is he just seeing it like a beach ball right now?
But then a fastball gets him swinging. So Lambert will get Valenzuela and set the Blue Jays down in order.
This summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa, in theaters June 26th.
Shane Bieber back on the mound to start this top of the fourth for the Blue Jays. And Bieber and Valenzuela were traded to the Blue Jays on the same day, July 31st last year. Bieber's acquisition took place in the morning, Valenzuela the afternoon. The two spent quite a bit of time together in the minors while Bieber was rehabbing from Tommy John. And according to John Schneider, Bieber gave him rave reviews on Valenzuela's work behind the plate. Bieber was quick to tell me he also has a good relationship with Alejandro Kirk, but there is a certain comfort level and an already established rapport with the rookie catcher that Bieber hopes the two can take advantage of now that he's back in the major leagues. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. And we've talked about the at-bats of Valenzuela, but that rapport with the pitcher, that's actually #1 on the catcher job description. Right?
Huge, especially when Bieber is going to rely on command and sequencing. Very stressful as a young player with a veteran like Bieber to call the right pitches, but he had the experience he needed to do it here today. And that's what I just remember as a young catcher, having a veteran pitcher. You want to try and get on the same page as much as you can, but you don't have a ton of experience as well. Valenzuela got that experience with Bieber.
Isaac Paredes lifts a high fly ball deep right center field. Straw's going to make the play as he and Varsho now talk it over. If the wind is blowing the same way it was when we were down on the field a couple of hours ago, it's kind of going out towards right center. And again, I know we don't talk about the wind here that much, and sometimes the way those banners are going is not necessarily indicative of the way the ball is going, but that one did appear to kind of blow back towards Straw a little bit, and he had an easier play than Varsho. Now this one clubbed to left by Yainer Diaz, and it's gone into the Blue Jays bullpen for a home run to make it 2-0.
Well, he came into the game 3 for 6 with 2 doubles versus Bieber. It's a hanging cutter. And knew it right when he hit it. A lot of times those cutters up in the zone, they're very easy to get elevated and get barreled to baseball, and it's exactly what Diaz does. You can see he's out in front, a little bit fooled, but because the pitch was up in the zone, he's able to reach out there and just kind of throw the bat at it.
Diaz with his third on the season to make it 2-0. And the batter now is Cam Smith. Now to play right side. It has yet to come together at the big league level for Smith in his second year with the Astros. Put up some very good numbers in the minors. Swings over the top of that one, and it's 1-2. Hit over 300 several times in the minors. Has some power, a little bit of speed. Again, a first-round pick just a couple of years ago. Bieber tries to change up again and bounces it in down and in 2-2. And now this one is drilled to deep left center, and it is gone. Back-to-back home runs, and it's 3-0.
And that's back-to-back. Kind of hanging spin from Bieber, and we talked about kind of getting it into the right spot. And if you're not going to have kind of that elite tight banger break on it, you're going to have to really locate. It's not that it's right down the middle, but it's just kind of wrinkling in there versus starting on the outer half and then darting down and away. Very slight backup type, and Smith just doesn't miss it.
So the Astros go back-to-back here in the fourth inning. Taylor Trammell is the batter, with the count even at 1-1. And another high fly ball hit way back in right field and into the 500 level. The first on the season for Trammell, and that is 3 in a row.
Fans here at Rogers Center just stunned, as it seemed like Bieber had a little bit of control going, and then the spin is starting to kind of get away from him. Tries to go on the inner part with a fastball, and it just leaks right over the middle of the plate, right into that flat bat path that Trammell has.
That fastball 91.3 miles an hour, and we talked in the first inning, you'd like to see 93s from Bieber.
I think that's what the Blue Jays were hoping, is getting back into that major league environment. You have a little bit more adrenaline. You're kind of on that big stage. Maybe that spikes up a little bit. Quickness and sharpness of the breaking ball start to pick up a little bit.
Tommy Nance has gotten up.
But as this game has progressed, fastball velo slowly ticking down. The spin on the breaking balls is not as tight. And you can survive with that type of stuff trending downward if you have elite command, but when you miss over the middle, you're going to get swings like that. They go very far. He knew it right when he smoked it too.
421 feet to right field. So 3 in a row hit by the Astros here in the fourth inning to lead 4-0. 3-2 now to Bryce Matthews, and he bounces it over near the Blue Jays dugout. Strike 3 called. Matthews will challenge.
Batter's challenging the strike call. Call is confirmed. The batter is out. Houston has no challenges.
The batter is out, and the Astros are out of challenges. This strikeout spotlight is brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh, feel good. That is the second strikeout on the afternoon for Bieber, and the second out here in the top of the fourth. And here's Raynel Delgado. Delgado with a base hit his first time up. Got beat with a fastball there. It's 0-2.
You see how that pitch kind of moves back towards the middle of the plate. Just seeing some kind of weird movements and shapes from him. Maybe his hand is a little bit on the side of the ball. Maybe it's just dragging a little bit. He talked a lot about his shapes. See how the ball just kind of drifts out towards the arm side, outer part of the plate. He essentially wants that ball to come in and then dart towards the back bottom part of the zone, not just float in there. Seems to me like he's kind of searching. Maybe it's mechanical. Maybe he's feeling a little bit fatigued. But that's kind of, you're looking at shapes, and that's why they talk about shapes, is because if you don't get the right shape and it has the right action, it's going to be indicative of how major league hitters are going to react to it.
And there's a changeup designed to be down and away that winds up inside, and it's 2-2.
So there's the overcorrection, trying to get over the baseball, and now you kind of got that two-way miss. And how do you correct it? You got to find a pitch in a spot that gets you back on track. And typically for a guy like Shane Bieber, it's getting to the glove side with the fastball. If you get arm side run, you got to stay out there with the fastball. Even if it's the wrong pitch and the wrong count versus the wrong hitter, you got to get back on track, because these shapes will not work.
2-2 again. This is popped up down the third base line. Okamoto running out of room, running out of time, can't get to it, and the at bat will continue. Bieber making sure Okamoto is back in his spot before he throws this pitch. Ripped into right, a base hit. And Delgado now 2 for 2. Pete Walker back on the phone. Nance has been up for a while in the bullpen. Valenzuela now making a slow walk out to the mound. No sign of John Schneider coming out yet.
These are helpless feelings as a catcher. You're back there, you're trying to call different pitches, but sometimes you just got to go out there and say, hey, look, what feels good, and forget who's batting. What do you think you have the best command at? What do you think you have the best control with? Let's try and start there and then move on. And a lot of times you got to have one pitch in one spot that can potentially lock you back in, but it's unraveling quickly on the veteran, and that's kind of his staple, is having the ability to limit damage and lock it in.
Here's Jose Altuve for the third time. Altuve doubled and scored in the first, and then grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the third. Batting helmet flies off with the force of that swing. It's 0-2. Altuve falls under the heading of a doesn't get cheated kind of guy.
No.
Couple of strikes on him as Bieber tries to finally put away the Astros here. Back-to-back home runs earlier this inning. Delgado the lead. And driven back to the bag. Not a bad time to go. You get thrown out. Altuve gets a fresh count next inning. And he's going. And it's hit off the end of the bat into center for a base hit, and Delgado can come around to third. And the hits just keep on coming for the Astros here in the top of the fourth inning. And it looks like the skipper's coming out right now. John Schneider is making his way to the mound, and Shane Bieber, in his return to the big leagues, will not get through 4 innings here today. 4-0 Astros. Tommy Nance making his way in. Here's your chance to celebrate an iconic mascot from the Blue Jays past. Tomorrow, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro Domer hat giveaway. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions to get tickets. Well, they are believers, but it was a tough one for Shane Bieber today in his return. We'll hear from him after the game, see how he feels about it, and what he feels he needs to work on here before his next one. Meanwhile, an intentional walk to Yordan Alvarez. It was runners at first and third, but that shows you the respect that they have for Alvarez. They'll put him on to load the bases and take their chances with Christian Walker.
Yeah, this is the right move. Righty's just 9 for 54 off of Nance. Lefty's much better. Don't let Alvarez extend this lead any more than they already have.
Major League leading 11th intentional walk given to Alvarez this year. And if you're a guy, if you're whoever is hitting behind Alvarez, it's just like hitting behind Judge or something like that. You know this is going to happen from time to time, and it's on you to try to make them regret this. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So just 3 2/3 for Bieber today. So it's going to be a lot of innings for the bullpen. Fly ball left field, pretty well hit. Sanchez back, finds it, and makes the catch on the track. Finally, the top of the fourth comes to an end, but first it was Yainer Diaz, then it was Cam Smith, and then Taylor Trammell, the third of back-to-back home runs, up into the 500 level, and it's 4-0 Houston. The Blue Jays went back-to-back, and now the championship rings can be yours. On Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. Get your tickets now at BlueJays.com/tickets. So the Blue Jays down 4-0 now. A lot of baseball still to be played here this afternoon. Here's Dalton Varsho, who struck out with the bases loaded in 2 outs in the first. Now he clubs one down the right field line and into the corner. In there for extra bases. Varsho into second with a leadoff double.
Lambert trying to go back to the well. Fastball up in the zone. Varsho beats this to the spot, and that's what it's going to take. If you're going to get beat above in the zone, you got to get out in front, and look at him right out of the box, hustling all the way.
An interesting, very similar spot to the pitch that Lambert struck him out on in the first. So Varsho in scoring position. Here's Luis Urias in his first game as a Blue Jay. Had a base hit his first time up. Urias was with the Diamondbacks AAA team in Reno, where he was hitting .361. And he had something known as an upward mobility clause in his contract, which means if Arizona didn't bring him up to the majors by a certain date, he could become a free agent. They obviously were not committed to doing that. As he launches one deep to left field, it is gone. And welcome to Toronto, Mr. Urias, a 2-run shot to cut that deficit in half.
Well, he was putting on a show in batting practice, and I played against Urias and remember him being very good on slow spin in the zone to the pull side. Fastballs typically go to the opposite field for doubles, and he has that pull side power. Catches a slider out in front that's hanging from Lambert and is able to send life right back into that Blue Jays dugout. Batting 1,000 in 2026.
He has made a lot of new friends in the last couple of hours. Look at the smile on his face. So the Diamondbacks weren't willing to commit to calling him up so he can become a free agent. So they want to trade him for anything they can get. And it was just a cash deal. The Blue Jays sending cash considerations to get him. But that means they have to bring him to the major league team. And John Schneider says they'll try to get him in there against lefties, occasionally against righties. He can play second and third. His best year was with Milwaukee. Back in 2021, he had 23 homers.
Oh, yeah. There's some pop in that body. Don't let the stature fool you.
And he's 29. He's not old or anything, but this year was stuck at AAA. He's played for 5 different teams. Straw bounces one in the hole at short. Delgado not in time. It'll be a base hit for Straw.
Remember, Urias just having great plate discipline, and told you about that pop in the bat. Just catches it out front. See how he stays through that baseball so well. Such an easy pitch to get out and around, to hook it foul on the barrel, but making his presence known right away. And that's something agents will do. They'll put that in your contract, so when you're having a good time, you're not getting called up, you can kind of start to call all the other 29 teams and say, hey, do you want this guy? And it's essentially a waiver claim without the process. And so for a guy that has some service time, that wants a shot at the big leagues, you go down to AAA, you provide, you get a chance with a big league club, and you do this.
Now Straw's aboard, still nobody out. And here's Andres Jimenez, who doubled into the right field corner in the second. The Urias acquisition too kind of balances the roster a little bit. They had a lot of left-handed bats and a lot of outfielders, and this brings in a right-hand hitting infielder. If they put him at second against a lefty, you can have Davis Schneider out in left, and it just gives, it feels, John Schneider more options, more balance on the roster. One and one, the count on Jimenez. Straw the lead. That's high, ball 2.
I think being able to provide defense at second and potentially third, that opens up potential kind of off days or spots for Okamoto to get a day. And you need those players that you trust on both sides of the ball this time of the year when you want to start resting some guys now and then. He mentioned being able to really stack the lineup against left-handed pitchers. Well, Lambert's a reverse split guy, which is why he's in there, and gives him the ability to line change against a left-handed starter.
Popped up by Jimenez, back of the plate, but it is playable for Yainer Diaz, and that's the first out. Lambert really likes using that changeup against the left-handed batters.
It's his go-to. Probably, metrically speaking, it's the slider that looks the best on paper, but you can just tell when a player gets in a position and he's in a spot, you start to use the same pitch, and he's got good sell on it. Really pulls the string nicely on it. When you've got 95 and you can throw that both right on right, becomes a weapon.
Here's George Springer, a strikeout in the first and a line out to short in the second.
But this is the type of response, Dan, you really want. You really need. The life, the air out in this building was just sucked right out with 3 homers in a row. They needed a spark. They needed something to get back into this game.
And these Astros are not a great pitching team this year, in part due to injuries. That'll run inside on Springer. But they are a bit susceptible. They've got a 4.84 ERA. That is 28th out of 30 teams in the big leagues. Draw the lead, 1-1 the count on Springer. Did he go? No, sir. Ball 2. Lambert up to 70 pitches now as well through 3 1/3. And when in doubt, the changeup. Behind in the count, even against a righty, he's liable to throw it at any time.
The ability to throw it on the outer half too, right on right. Such a difficult pitch to recognize as a right-handed hitter. Gets it fully to that glove side.
And Springer goes around to strike out for out number 2.
He takes your eyes all the way on the outer half with that changeup and then changes it directionally close to you. Just can't hold up.
So with 2 outs, it'll be Guerrero, who flied out in the first and then lined out in the second on what looked like it might be a double down the left field line, but for a great play by the third baseman Isaac Paredes. Straw still at first now with 2 down. Miles looks like he wants to run over there. Maybe he's just not getting a feel for the timing of the move by Lambert.
And Yainer Diaz only 2 of 15 stolen base attempts this year. Probably doesn't want to take the bat out of Vladdy's hands, but would love to get in a scoring position.
And the Astros are feeling it too. That's the second disengagement.
Yep.
1 throw over, 1 step off. So we'll see if Straw gets a little more aggressive with that lead.
So digging in right there. Get his footing.
Not going. And it's down and away, ball 2 to Guerrero. Was way out there that time. A huge hop step, but it maybe got out there so early he was worried about Lambert stepping off.
There it is. I love watching base stealers. They know the advantage is with them, that if Lambert's going to pick off, he's going to have to pick him off. You can tell he wants to go, but he's got to have that perfect jump.
Now a full count on Guerrero, which means that Straw will get a running start. Straw, and the 3-2 is fouled back. Lots of different pitches from Lambert in this at bat to Guerrero. Sinker, four-seamer, changeup, cutter.
And he mixes it. Hard mix.
a swing and a miss. The changeup to get him. The Blue Jays, though, get their first 2 runs of the ball game, and it's the new guy, Luis Urias, hitting one out to deep left. And at the end of 4, it's the Astros 4 and the Blue Jays 2. Here on this Tuesday afternoon, 4-2 Astros. Dan Schulman, Caleb Joseph, Hazel May, glad you're with us. Tommy Nance back on the mound after he got the last out in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Isaac Paredes to lead it off. Slider catches the outside corner. Paredes had an RBI single in the first, flied out in the 4th. Right after him last inning is when the trouble started. 3 consecutive home runs hit by the Astros. It's the first time the Blue Jays have surrendered back-to-back home runs since 2021. And it's the first time a single Blue Jays pitcher has surrendered 3 consecutive home runs since Chase Anderson gave up 3 in a row to the Yankees in 2020. Kirk not in the starting lineup today. Valenzuela getting the call. Clement out. Lucas out. Davis Schneider out as well. All available, we believe. Curveball lifted to center. Backing up a few steps is Varsho, and he's got it.
That curveball been a really good pitch for Nance this season. Opponent's hitting under 100 on that pitch. Seems like he likes to get ahead with the slider, then try and throw that curveball in there late. Little push-pull action.
He feels it's his put-away pitch, but that he's got better command of the sliders. So kind of counterintuitively using his, quote, best pitch a little bit less, like get ahead with the slider and finish him with the curve. Here's Yainer Diaz, who homered. And a bouncer up the third baseline will go foul.
I think that's a great point, Dan. You got to know your best pitch might induce a ton of whiff, ton of weak contact, but if it's generally out of the zone, how can you get in the zone to survive? We've seen this over and over and over with a guy like Brendan Little. He's got tremendous numbers against the breaking ball, but can't really land it. Well, can you find a pitch or two to survive and then get to that banger? I love how Nance has kind of redeveloped his usage and how he's doing that to survive.
Nance, 35 years of age, did not debut in the big leagues until he was 30. He did that with the Cubs 5 years ago, 2021. Ground ball to short. Jimenez unloads and gets him 2 down.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
2 down here, top 5, as Nance has gotten a couple of outs. Here's Cam Smith, who homered last inning as well. And a called strike. That was the curve on the outside corner. Nance made 27 appearances in 2021 for the Cubs, 35 appearances for the Marlins the next year, 2022. Now in his 3rd year with the Blue Jays, and he's pitched more with the Blue Jays than anybody else. This is his 77th appearance in a Blue Jays uniform. Pete Walker on the phone again.
Big boy too, 6'6", and I always felt like those tall humans, when they threw those real big 12-6 curveballs, it just felt different. It felt like it was being dropped from about a 10-story building. Really tough to really get underneath. Easy pitch to hit the top of the baseball, roll over.
Just low, and it's 2-2. The phone call was for Mason Fluharty to get up. Fluharty was down last night. John Schneider told us before the game today, but obviously available here this afternoon. John Schneider would love to have Fluharty available for a big Yordan Alvarez at bat, but Alvarez hits lefties almost as hard as he hits righties. He does not have many weak spots. Full count. Slider away, and that's a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 5th for Tommy Nance. And that means we're sending it out for an update with Jamie Campbell. A draft is now only a few hours away, and it is loaded. A.J. DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson. A ton of very talented young players will be drafted tonight. The Raptors have the 19th overall pick. Find out who goes where tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. What a beautiful day today. Sure looks nice out on the water. It's 4-2 Astros, bottom 5. And it'll be Jesus Sanchez, Kazuma Okamoto, and Brandon Valenzuela. It just goes to show you how much can change for so many different reasons for a baseball team. 3, 4, 5 hitters today, none of them with the team last year. Sanchez finished the year as an Astro, Okamoto in Japan, Valenzuela in the minors. That'll get under the glove of Walker, and they'll still get the out at first. A good recovery by Walker, and Lambert covering in time. John Schneider looking back. There will be no challenge.
Very slow developing play. You can see Sanchez taking about 3 steps to get to full speed, and that's what makes the difference on the back end. Walker doesn't pick it cleanly, but stays with it. He's able to take advantage of a slow out of the box start for Sanchez.
What happened there?
Potential pitch clock violation.
Was that a pitch?
It was running. Pitch clock was running. 4, 3. Diaz probably wondering why it didn't reset.
So that was a live pitch. So now it's 2-0 on Okamoto, who has walked and then popped up in foul territory. So 0 for 1. That's just low, and it's 3-0. Keep in mind the Astros are out of challenges. And Joe Espada's got his bullpen up. Lefty Steven Okert, who is one of his highest leverage guys, is up here in the 5th inning. That's ball 4. Second walk today taken by Okamoto. The good news is they've gotten Lambert's pitch count up. The bad news is they left a ton of guys on in the first 2 innings. This could be a much different situation here. But again, there's still a lot of baseball to be played, and this is not an airtight bullpen that the Astros are throwing out there. It's better lately. There are some good guys. Josh Hader's come off the IL. Okert can be tough. Ooh, a late strike call there by Brian Walsh, and it's 0-1. Valenzuela, a walk and a strikeout. Another name down in that Houston bullpen is Nate Pearson, the former first-round pick of the Blue Jays, who was traded to the Cubs a couple of years ago. for Yohendrick Pinango, signed in the offseason with the Astros, was recovering from elbow surgery, started the year on the IL, has been back for a couple of weeks now. I'm sure he'd like to get a crack at it here.
Pitched against his former club. It was in Chicago. Has not pitched here at Rogers Center.
Yeah.
Boy, these takes, Dan. These takes lead me to believe he's about to jump on something. No, it hasn't worked out yet in this game. Drew a walk, struck out on a fastball last at bat, but might catch one out front here. He's just refined. I mean, 2 inches on the outer half down, no sir. 2 inches on the inner half, no sir.
Luis Urias has already homered here today in his Blue Jays debut. He might get a shot at it this inning. The 3-1 pitch in there for strike 2 call. The cutter. That was a couple of inches above the knees. Valenzuela says, okay, I got that. I've seen that. Varsho waiting on deck. Now the 3-2 and a little looper shallow center, but it's carrying out to Matthews to make the play. 2 down. So now Varsho 1 for 2. He doubled and scored on the Urias home run in the 4th, but Varsho is not going to see Lambert. He's going to see the left-hander. Okert was up. Okert is coming in. Lambert out of this game after 4 2/3. Better Together is brought to you by Heinz, because a hot dog isn't a hot dog without Heinz. Another big crowd here at Rogers Center, even with this early start. The 4:07 first pitch here today. And here's one of the Astros' best, Steven Okert. He has gone 15 consecutive innings, Caleb, since he last gave up a run. 9th major league season, time with Miami, San Francisco, Houston, Minnesota. Lots and lots of sliders. Lefties have not fared well against him. Just 8 for 60. Here's Varsho. And a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Runner at first, 2 down. Varsho a strikeout and a double. Lines it to right field. Oh, and it's over the head of Smith. Okamoto on his way to third. He'll be held there. That line drive right at Cam Smith just kept going and got past him, and it's 2nd and 3rd.
Well, we've seen this from time to time from Dalton Varsho. When he really backspins a baseball and gets behind it, it can seem like it's shot out of a cannon. Makes you think it might have a little top spin, but it's really carrying with some backspin. 103 off the bat. He stays on that slider and opens up an opportunity for Urias to break this game open.
Urias with a 2-run home run his last time up. He is 2 for 2 this afternoon. Appeal, no swing. It's 1-1. So Okamoto's at third, Varsho's at second. Joe Espada going to one of his highest leverage relievers here in the 5th inning. One of the 3 lefties he's got in the pen. And it's foul back now, 1-2. Lots of sliders.
Oh yes.
And then lots more.
You'd think, why don't you just sit on it, man? Well, there's a reason he's throwing it. 2/3 out of every pitch is because it's effective even when guys probably are sitting on it. Weird angle, weird spin, weird depth.
And then the fastball to get him and end the inning. 2 more men left on by the Blue Jays, and at the end of 5 they're down 4-2. Could become a millionaire this Canada Day by joining in on baseball's biggest 50-50. The take-home prize is projected to surpass $1.5 million. Join in now at bluejays.com/5050 from participating provinces. Going to the top of the 6th inning in front of another big crowd, the Astros, on the strength of 3 consecutive home runs off Shane Bieber in the 4th, have a 4-2 lead. And after Tommy Nance got 4 innings in relief, now it's time for Mason Fluharty.
Major League leading 42nd appearance for Fluharty. They're trying to manage his workload. So far, he's been very solid for the Blue Jays.
Gets a left-handed batter in the first at bat here, Taylor Trammell, who waves at a sweeper, and it's 0-1. Bottom third of the order, but Trammell is the guy who hit the ball into the 500 level down the right field line for the home run in the 4th inning. Waves at it again. And he's just going to throw him another sweeper down and away right here.
He is. I played with Trammell in Seattle, and is vulnerable left on left, and that's kind of the real indicator. Can you hang in there, be an everyday guy? Can you hang in left on left? And that front hip was flying on that last pitch.
The appeal didn't go. It's funny, he took that pitch, but he swung at the one that was a 1.5 feet outside, and he took that one in a 2-strike count.
Sure. Sometimes hitters don't make sense, Dan. Try calling pitches against guys like that.
Takes another one down low, and it's 2-2.
There's always those guys in each lineup that you think you got them set up perfectly, and they do something really weird.
Popped up. Who's going to get there? It'll be Sanchez coming in as we send it down to Hazel.
Dan, with his workload so far this season, Fluharty could feel his body start to slow down a bit. He could tell in his delivery when the team was back at Wrigley Field. It was so slow, he told me, I couldn't feel my legs, but Sunday's postponement was a gift from God. I said, how do you feel heading into this one? He said, I'm rested. My body's in a good spot. Dan?
Hazel, thank you. As I think a lot of people know, because we've talked about it a lot, nobody has made more appearances in the majors this year than Mason Fluharty.
And you need that lower half, Dan, to drive, to set, to sit on the backside. That's what kind of drives the engine, that gives you that velocity, allows your arm to get out front. When your legs are tired, oof, it's tough.
And remember, he's the lone lefty in the pen right now, right? Since Adam Macko was optioned a couple of weeks ago, Spencer Miles is up now in the bullpen. That's in there. 2-1.
Schneider mentioned loving to have ideally 2 left-handers so you could alleviate and manage that workload for Fluharty. As of right now, they've just got some really good options down there, but it's nice to have Macko in the wings.
Swung on and missed. Now 2-2. That was the changeup there that Fluharty is mixing in here and there this year, his 3rd offering. Down and away, it's full.
I like it. I love that pitch. I can't wait for him to bust it out left on left. I think the left on left changeup, because for me it acts more like a sinker because of the speed, is going to be a game changer against left-handed hitters.
Grounded foul.
But when you're doing well against left-handers, why change it up? But I just feel like the guys that can hang in on the slider, maybe it's a Yordan Alvarez type, that pitch is going to be big time on the inner half.
And he gets him swinging for out number 2.
A little giddy up on this cutter, just under 92. You could see the release point was in the sun. By the time he lets go of it, it's back into the darkness of the shadows here. That can be very difficult on hitters to pick up spin. You see and feel the velocity, but sometimes you can't get that spin right out of the hand.
2 down. Here's Raynel Delgado, who's already got a couple of hits out of the number 9 spot today for the Astros. And probably only in there because Jeremy Pena suffered that hamstring cramp in last night's game and not in the starting lineup today. 0-2. Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Urias, stretched by Guerrero. They get him. Luis Urias not only contributing with the bat in his Blue Jay debut, but with the glove as well, helping Mason Fluharty to a 3-up, 3-down top of the 6th with a nifty defensive play.
Is for Zepbound. A is for asking. To begin the conversation. Is Zepbound the right choice for you? Ask a doctor about Zepbound. Visit zepbound.ca for savings.
To the bottom of the 6th here at Rogers Center on a very, very nice Tuesday afternoon. The Blue Jays are on the wrong side of the scoreboard right now, but it's just a 2-run game. All kinds of opportunities, leaving too many guys on. Again here today, maybe it changes this inning. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. Where the Blue Jays get a hit this inning, you could win exclusive 50th season prizes. They left the bases loaded in the 1st. They left runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd. They left runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 5th. Left-hander Stephen Okert back out to begin the bottom of the 6th. Miles Straw, Andres Jimenez, and George Springer coming up. Straw looks at a strike. He is 1 for 2 today. Had an infield hit in the 4th.
You play any instruments, Dan? Play any instruments?
Poorly. Guitar. Very poorly. Why?
Nice little, well, I saw the pictures earlier. Guitarist and a little drummer out there out back.
Yeah.
They do such a good job here.
Yeah,
all kinds of different things. Well, entertainment. Didn't know if you were an instrument guy.
I wish I was better.
What would you pick? The bass?
I like the bass.
Yes.
I like the bass. What about you?
Drums, for sure.
I might do drum. I could see you as a drummer.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things. It's so much fun to do, but when you're bad at it, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I guess everything is like that. But
hitting's a lot.
Hitting was like that for you.
Very similar. Very similar. Well, they need to make a little music in this inning.
Straw, as always, just trying to do anything he can to get aboard, especially when leading off an inning. Lays off that high fastball, 2-2.
Was in that bat very similar to this he had in Chicago that just started to turn the lineup over, build it. They've been trying to build an inning. They just got to get that final hit to really break it open.
Foul back. It high in the air, left center. He's tagged it pretty well, but it's caught just a few feet shy of the wall for out number 1. And he pulled it a little bit more, would have been a different story.
Just a little bit off the end of the bat's middle down slider. Check out the contact point. I mean, just a lace or two off the barrel. He catches it out front, good direction. Like you said, Dan, had he pulled it a little bit more, would have been a no-doubter.
Andres Jimenez trying to bunt his way aboard, pops it foul. We don't see Jimenez do a ton of it. Would you like to see maybe, I'm not talking about sacrificing, like this, trying to bunt for a base hit, especially with a lefty on the mound?
I love it, especially when you have a guy at second base like Altuve that has been shaky at times with the glove. Get a second baseman playing back, grab that and pull it with you as you're in your run towards first base.
It's it sharply up the middle, but well positioned is Delgado. 2 down.
104 off the bat, left on left, 3-hopper up the middle. You got to be so excited, but the positioning and the defense, that's the biggest change that I remember seeing coming from the minor leagues up to the big leagues, was how guys were positioned so perfectly. And now with the analytics wave, they have guys right where they need them.
Yep. For about 125 years, that was a base hit
100%
every
of the
time. Daniel De Los Santos is up. He went an inning and a third in last night's game. Springer 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And he lines it into center for a 2-out base hit. Now getting some information from Mark Budzinski, and looks like we might have a move coming here. Joe Espada is on his way, and eventually will probably
should.
No, he already did it. We missed it. He did it early as soon as he came out of the dugout. De Los Santos coming in to face Guerrero. For 3 months and stream hit series like Welcome to Wrexham and Battle on the Beach. Visit citytvplus.ca to subscribe today. Fans of all ages here at the ballpark today on a Tuesday afternoon. It is 4-2 Astros with a runner at first, 2 down, bottom 6, second day in a row. Daniel De Los Santos in for Houston.
Pitched in last night's game, 19 pitches, 14 for strikes. He faced Guerrero Jr. last night. Got a little dribbler 1-3 on a slider, if I'm not mistaken. This is a time for Vladdy. Like, if there's ever a time to just get in there and dig in and just have a good pro at bat, pick a pitch, pick a spot, and get hyper aggressive in that zone. Swing with conviction, swing with intent, but be disciplined in a very small part of the zone. Got to think that De Los Santos, he might try and spin it to him again if you want to look that, but get aggressive yet disciplined at the same time.
2-pitch guy to righties, 4-seamer, slider, about a 50-50 split. Slider away, ball 1. Oh for 3 today. Springer at first with 2 down. Takes the slider down and away, ball 2. Not enough to sit on a fastball, though, with this guy, right? He could come right back with another slider.
No, sit on it. Just be convicted with it. Looks like he is the first 2 pitches.
Fastball fouled back, 2-1. You got to believe he is just itching to hit a home run here at home. The 4 he has this year have all come on the road. Slider away, ball 3.
All right, are they going to repeat the sequence? They got behind in the count through a fastball. They just got behind in the count even deeper with the slider. Does he go fastball, or does he go back to the spin and the comfort of spin?
Slider pulled in the hole at short. Only play is at first, and Guerrero beats it out.
Well, he didn't follow the pattern. If he would have stayed with the pattern, he would have thrown a fastball. I think that's what Vladdy was probably looking for, which is why he was out in front on this slider, moving out towards the outer part of the plate. Breaks his bat, but he's in motion. Watch as he swings. He's in motion. Delgado's first game at shortstop just doesn't have enough strength in that arm to get Vladdy to extend the inning.
So first and second, 2 down. And it'll be Jesus Sanchez, who is 1 for 3. And now against lefties, you bring a changeup into the equation from De Los Santos. Different kind of pitcher against a lefty. Another opportunity with a runner in scoring position for the Blue Jays. Swing and a miss, 1-1, and that was a look at the changeup.
Not a ton of bend on it. Comes out looking pretty straight, not a hump or anything, so it's a very tough read.
But that's the push and pull you talk about, just the velocity, right? Just
and the sell, the spin.
Yeah, get him out in front. Went back to it again, and that one was more up in the zone. It's not that he missed it, he was out in front of it. It was gone.
Watch that front leg buckle down. See how he's way out in front. That's what we mean by push and pull.
And you can't blame De Los Santos. He tried another one, but he missed down and away, 2-2. As you can see from the numbers, it is a good pitch for him against left-handers. Springer at second, Guerrero at first. And the 2-2. Off the glove of De Los Santos, but he recovers and makes the play to end the inning. And the Blue Jays have now left 10 runners on through 6. He was having a very nice season here in his first year in the big leagues. Rookie doesn't feel like a rookie anymore, but rookie Spencer Miles putting together a very nice season.
22nd game for the right-hander. See the ERA just under 3.5. Doesn't strike out the world, but he's hyper efficient, and I think that sinker, being hyper aggressive with that sinker, moving it to both sides of the plate, has been really important for him. It's a really heavy, boring runner, and when he gets that established, woof, game over, because he's got good weapons behind it.
And he's going to face the top of the order for the Astros, and that means first man up is Jose Altuve, and you are very interested in, you talked about it last night, his setup, his stance, where he starts, where he goes.
So look where he is in the box in the picture just to your left. He's almost towards the front part of the box, and look at the leaderboards in terms of depth in the batter's box. Ildemaro Vargas, he is way up in front, and then Altuve, and then look at Neto. Neto's 17.5, and that means that he is behind, way deeper. Most guys in the box, they're standing on the back part of the chalk line, but he's in the middle. What's the advantage? The advantage is you can take some breaking balls and catch them out front before they finish the break, but the reverse of that, Dan, is that you're a little bit closer, so velo is a little bit faster and it gets on you quicker.
It's impressive at 36 years of age. He still has, or feels he has, the bat speed that he's not way in the back of the box.
We have talked about this with Okamoto. When Okamoto first showed up to the big leagues, he was standing very similar to where Altuve stands. And then you add the element of that massive crossover move with that left leg stepping directly towards the plate, almost closer to the plate, and then he kicks that back leg out, making a scissor move is what we call it. It's a very unique stance, setup, and all the above.
Right on the corner with a slider, 1-2. Miles in a bit of a different role maybe from a few weeks ago. Instead of that bulk 4-inning guy in the middle, a little bit higher leverage now, shortening up the outings a bit. And Spencer Miles is never afraid to challenge a hitter with his two-seamer, and that's because he threw at 98, or as Caleb would say, an 8.
An 8. It's heavy too, and what I mean by that is feels like a bowling ball when you're catching it. You can just tell the swings coming off of major league hitters. It's a heavy pitch.
Strike 3 called as he rings up Altuve.
So many pitchers use the north-south approach with velocity. When you throw a sinker on the inner lane, you can then lock down hitters on the outer half with spin. Probably trying to go a little bit more down with that pitch, but it hits the upper and outer rail for Strike 3 looking.
Altuve not sure about it. Astros are out of challenges. Here's Yordan Alvarez. Flied out in the first, doubled in the third, walked in the fourth. An intentional walk, and now Joe Espada is giving a piece of his mind to the home plate umpire Brian Walsh about the strike zone. Tried a backdoor curveball, but he missed outside. Line drive left field. Caught by Sanchez. 2 down. Yordan Alvarez hits the ball to the opposite field about as hard as anybody in baseball.
It's just a pretty swing.
Yeah.
It never looks like he's fooled. It's like poetry in motion watching him swing a baseball bat.
When he was a young man, was with the Dodgers in their farm system 10 years ago, and they traded him a deadline deal to pick up an arm to help them in the bullpen. Josh Fields. Yordan Alvarez could have come up in the major leagues as a Dodger.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, one that got away from the LA Dodgers. 2 down. Here's Christian Walker.
Would they ever make him available?
He's got 2 more years. Hefty price tag. I mean, if they're out of it this year, would they make him available this year? Is that your?
It is.
I guess anything is possible. Who knows? But can you imagine what you would have to give up? Again, maybe the best hitter in baseball. Mostly a DH, plays a little bit of left field, but you're getting the bat.
And Houston just kind of seems like they're in a weird part. They're getting older. The Correas, the Altuves, they've got a couple young pieces, but they're kind of hanging in there. I wonder if might think about switching it up if they continue to lose. You just never know, but I think blue's a good color on him.
I think that's tampering. 3-2. If it continues, Paredes comes up. Got it. That is the nasty sinker from Spencer Miles. He strikes him out, sets down the Astros in order. Kaz Okamoto is going to lead it off. Kazuma Okamoto has been hot at the plate, and now is your opportunity to rep him. Be one of the first 15,000 fans here at the ballpark on July the 20th and take home a Kazuma Okamoto t-shirt. It's the perfect way to celebrate the Blue Jays' newest slugger. Get your tickets now, bluejays.com/promotions. And here he is. Oh for 1 today with a couple of walks after going 2 for 3 with a double and a home run and a walk in last night's game. De Los Santos out in front 0-2. Side for a base hit. We have not seen a lot of that from Okamoto. What'd you like about it?
Well, I think he tried to quick pitch him, and I think he kind of got stuck a little bit. Watch De Los Santos. He comes up and just kind of little slight hesitation, not a big leg kick like he normally has, and I think Okamoto just kind of shut down. That's called a block. Blocked it over to that opposite field. Huge hole over there. Love that he was able to just take what was given to him with 2 strikes.
So the tying run comes to the plate. Brandon Valenzuela 0 for 2 with a walk. And he's popped it up. Back of the plate. And room for Diaz for out number 1. Dalton Varsho. Varsho had an infield hit off De Los Santos last night. Today, Varsho's 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. That's off the plate, ball 1.
And that's what he's going to get. He's going to get a steady diet of changeups on the outer half. You can still pull it, but you got to let it get deep into the stance to hit it on the barrel.
When Varsho's really right, we see him occasionally hit the ball hard to the opposite field. Remember the grand slam earlier in the season into the Blue Jays bullpen? He's got the power to drive the ball out to the opposite field as well. He's got the power to drive it out to the pull side. Tie game. What a day for Varsho.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Just called it. Knew he was going to get changed up. The first pitch was a changeup, took it for a ball. A little show-me fastball in the outer half, and he had to let it get deep. You knew he could still pull it, but it's all about depth, and he met it perfectly on time. But have a day. He started to lock that pull side swing in earlier in the day. He struck out in that first at-bat, got blown away, but then started to find his rhythm. Out front, but perfectly in depth. That ball's on the outer half. You see where he hit it. Takes full advantage of a mistake up out over the plate.
We have all seen Dalton Varsho on a heater. We know what it looks like. The extra base hits just keep coming and coming. He's got 3 of them here today, and home run number 7 has tied this game.
You can be a dead pull hitter if you want. Your contact points have got to be spot on. You got to be really out in front for the fastball, and you got to let it travel on the breaking stuff or changeups, and it's exactly what he did. Blue Jays right back in this ball game.
So he's got a 2-run homer. The man at the plate right now, Luis Urias, has a 2-run homer. He's 2 for 3 on the day, and he went after that first pitch fastball. It's 0-1. Nathan Lucas in the on-deck circle in Miles Straw's spot. And if the Astros make another move, Caleb, it'll be Nate Pearson coming into the game. One-hopper back to the mound. De Los Santos makes the play. 2 down.
You mentioned their vulnerabilities as a pitching staff, and I just feel like the way that John Schneider went about this and who he used being down in this game, he was going after it. He thought there was a game there to be had. Fluharty and Miles coming in a game when they're behind. Varsho rewards him for that decision.
And now a conversation about Lucas.
Finally a big hit with a runner on base. Seems like last 2 nights they've just been really struggling to get that big swing.
The smile on the face of Varsho, usually kind of stoic, but
yeah, he's going, can you believe he threw me a changeup? I was sitting on it the whole time. Would you throw me a changeup in that spot? How good did I look running around the bases?
You're starting to see it. It's starting to come around. What's holding them back really is these intermittent, the scoring position things, right? They're having these games every now and again, but the power is definitely starting to come around, including today, Caleb. They've now hit 15 home runs in their last 10 games. That's a big boost from where they were earlier in the season. One and one on Lucas. Urias with a 2-run shot today. Varsho with a 2-run shot. And Spencer Miles is going to work at least another inning. Taken up and away, ball 2. There's still a ways to go. 7th inning here. The Astros led 4-0 after 3.5. The Urias home run in the bottom of the 4th, and now Varsho here, bottom 7. Now to play left side. John Schneider still has Ernie Clement, Alejandro Kirk, and Davis Schneider on the bench in case he wants one of them later against a lefty. 3-2 on Lucas. Jimenez would be next. Well hit ball left center. Still going, but run down out there by Matthews for out number 3. It is tied at 4 at the end of 7. And let's get a Blue Jays Central update right now with Jamie Campbell. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Brand new ball game thanks to Dalton Varsho, tied at 4 heading to the 8th. As the Blue Jays try to make it 2 in a row over the Astros, and if they can win this one, they will move over the 500 mark for the first time since they were 4-3. Spencer Miles back on the mound after a 1-2-3 7th. Isaac Paredes leading it off, the cleanup hitter for the Astros. Paredes 1 for 3, hit an RBI single way back in the first. But a curveball for a strike. Nathan Lucas remains in the game in right field. Off the corner, ball 2, with Jeff Hoffman now up in the bullpen. And there's the sinker, the pitch that, as we've said a couple of times, Miles describes as his get out of jail free card. When in doubt, throw the 2-seamer, see if they can hit it.
Love it. It's a runner, starts about halfway in the left-handed batter's box, runs right back over the heart of the plate.
Don't know exactly who may or may not be available, as Joey Loperfido looks like he might get in on this. Jake Myers as well. Got him. Miles strikes out another. And again, the 2-seamer gets him.
You know, I talked to him after a rough outing in Baltimore when he had that start. Did not go very well. So what'd you learn? He said, be aggressive with my fastball. It's a good one. I got to trust that even major league hitters are going to have a hard time squaring it up. But sure enough, he's right back into that mentality.
He's got a lot of belief in himself. And you can see it on the mound. Here's Yainer Diaz, who hit the first of the back-to-back-to-back home runs in the 4th inning. And a good player, averaging about 20 home runs per year the last 3 seasons. Line drive, center field, base hit. A 1-out single. Jeremy Pena looks like he is available off the bench. And now we're going to have a pinch runner. Myers coming in to run for Diaz. And the batter is Cam Smith. 1 for 3. He homered back in the 4th. takes a strike. 0-1. The appeal didn't go. Boy, that pitch moves a lot. Just missed up and in with it. Didn't get the swing. It's 1-1. It looks like it might be a strike if you're a right-handed batter, and then at the last moment it's coming right at you.
You've got to set your eyesight on the outer half, but even when you miss on the inner half, it does give effect. He's missing on the correct part of the plate.
And then a slider to even it up at 2-2. You can get some ground balls with that hard two-seamer as well. Get it in on the hands of a right-handed batter. Get some weak contact. Just outside. 3-2. And now do the Astros start the runner?
Yeah, considering how Miles can put the ball on the ground, they might try and stay out of the double play.
And the Blue Jays thinking the same thing. Myers dives back into the bag.
Yeah, there was a little movement towards second. I think he's going to be in motion here.
Got a bigger lead now than he had moments ago. He's running. And it's a weak ground ball to third. Charged by Okamoto. And safe at first is Smith. A slow roller for a base hit, and it's first and second for the Astros. Sometimes the contact is a little too weak, and there's not much you can do with it.
Not sure if an accurate throw is going to get Smith with his speed. This throws up the line, pulls Vladdy off the base. Good decision by Vladdy just to secure the baseball. Doesn't try and stay on the base and reach for it, potentially opening up a deflection that allows the base runners to advance.
And now Jeremy Pena has been announced into the game as a pinch hitter, and it looks like John Schneider is going to make a change. And there it is. He wants Hoffman. So Miles goes in inning and a third. A couple of men on in this tie game in the 8th inning. Miles out and Hoffman coming in. So Spencer Miles out of the game. It's a tie game here in the top of the 8th. Runners at first and second with one out. And it's Jeff Hoffman now on the mound to face the pinch hitter, Jeremy Pena.
37th game of the season for Hoffman. Been an up and down season. When he's been good, he's been fantastic. And the reverse is true. Pena likes to swing early and often with runners in scoring position, so quality pitches is going to be paramount here early on in this at bat. Would not be surprised if he tried to go heavy slider usage, considering how Pena hits the heater.
He is really throwing that slider more and more to right-handed batters, really leaning into it. And he starts him with one down and away for ball one. A very good player, obviously, Pena. The numbers maybe a bit below what you would think because of injuries, a hamstring injury, but this is one of their best. Myers is at second. Smith is at first. Again, the slider. Ball two. Misses just off the corner with a fastball, and it's 3-0. As Miles and everybody else in that third base dugout looks on here in this tie game. 3-0 green light for Pena. He fouls it off.
Thank you. But I like where that fastball was located. Typically, when you can get that fastball on the outer rail, you can get your arm position, hand position in the right spot to get that slider on the right lane and moving correctly. Hopefully, he throws a quality slider right here.
Not close, and he walks him to load the bases. So now it'll be Bryce Matthews, the center fielder, with the bases loaded and 1 out. Matthews just 24 years of age, first-round pick in 2023. Infield in, and that slider catches the outside corner. 0-1. Foul back, 0-2.
So with this type of defensive configuration, they're not all the way in. They're kind of pick and choose with force outs all over the diamond. It'll depend on the speed of the ball, the direction you have to go, which way they might try and turn a double play.
The 0-2 pitch. Another foul back by Matthews. Myers, the runner at third, pretty good speed. Another Hoffman 0-2, and it's high, ball 1. And he got him for out number 2.
Well, he's able to take advantage of a younger player with a bit of a mistake. This breaking ball backs up just a little bit, but I think the velocity and the location of the fastball up took him just slightly off of that hanger. But now he's 1 pitch away from escaping this jam.
It'll be Raynel Delgado, the rookie who is 2 for 3 today. There's the first splitter. A pitch he uses much more to left-handed batters, and it's 0-1.
And a good pitch against a guy that's trying to pull the baseball. We've seen Delgado really try and pull that baseball today.
This is just the 8th game in the majors in the career of Raynel Delgado. 0-2. Little pop-up, and Okamoto makes the play. Saving a couple of runs by ranging out into shallow left. Hoffman gets the out, and it's still tied at 4. A bit of a blast from the past here as the Astros bring in former Blue Jays first-round pick Nate Pearson, his first time pitching in this ballpark as a visitor, and he comes into a high-leverage spot here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yep, first rounder in 2017 of the Blue Jays. Made his debut in 2020. Pitched for the Blue Jays in 21. Did not pitch in 22. 23 again a Blue Jay. 24 as a Blue Jay, and then went to Chicago for a couple years. Signed with the Astros here. Told me earlier today he's really wanting to mix his arsenal up a little bit more. Typically 4-seam slider, but he wants to throw a few more sinkers and changeups. He said especially this veteran right-handed lineup Watch for a couple more sinkers, but it's always been a big arm. Command has always been a thing for him. Can he mix it up enough? Can he get in the zone enough? Big frame, big stuff. See what he's got.
This is interesting. John Schneider is out. The Astros made a ton of moves here, and I think Schneider just wants to make sure, let me understand who's where defensively and where they are in the order. Let's all get on the same page. And I guess everything has worked out to his satisfaction. Pinch hitting, pinch running, and a bunch of defensive changes as well. It'll be Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. against Nate Pearson. And it's ball one. Pearson still throws hard, can still reach triple digits on occasion with the fastball. That was a first pitch slider there to Jimenez. There's the fastball, but it's ball two. Alejandro Kirk may be asked to swing a bat. Big cut and a foul back, 2-2. They were down 4-0. Luis Urias a 2-run home run in the 4th. Dalton Varsho a 2-run home run in the 7th. Looking for their first lead of the afternoon here, bottom 8. Right up against the wall by Cam Smith for out number 1.
Well, Jimenez has been so good on those breaking balls, finishing kind of middle down, nestling close to him. Looks like he gets it just towards the label a little bit. Let it travel just a little bit too much. He had the launch correctly, but just didn't get enough of it to give the Blue Jays the lead.
One down. Here's Springer, 1 for 4. All kinds of defensive changes. Myers remains in the game in center. Matthews has moved to left. Pena stays in the game at short. Vasquez now catching. Every position player but Joey Loperfido has appeared in the game for Houston. That's just off the corner, and it's 2-0 on Springer. Now ball 3. And it's Tyler Rogers up in the Blue Jays pen, which suggests, Caleb, that Louis Varland is unavailable today. Varland got the save last night through 12 pitches, on Saturday through 28. Ball 4. And again, with all 5 of the guys who have pitched so much out of the bullpen, the Blue Jays do want to be careful here and there, and sometimes you just got to draw a line in the sand and say this guy's down today, and it looks like it's Varland today.
Gotta play the long game over 162.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1 for 4, had an infield hit in his last at bat. This one will bounce away from Vasquez, and the wild pitch allows Springer to go to second.
It's one thing we saw from time to time from Pearson in his time in Toronto. Yanked breaking balls so far out in front and so far away from the catcher that in that one knee stance you're going to have one shot, and that's to try and glove it. Vasquez not able to do it.
And now if you're Guerrero, you know a base hit could very well give the Blue Jays the lead here. The 1-0. Ooh, a wide one it looked like. Guerrero didn't like it, but does not challenge it. They've got 2 remaining. It's the 8th inning, and that ball was well off the plate. Out in front of the mound. Pearson pulls his first baseman off the bag. He had all kinds of time and could not get it to Walker, and it's 1st and 3rd.
You know, call me crazy, but I think that Vladdy not really running hard down the line might have kind of thrown Pearson off a little bit in him throwing a grenade over to first base. If Vladdy's really getting after it, Pearson picks it up, and you saw him gator arm that over to first base. I think if he feels Guerrero running hard, he might rear back and throw it hard and have more accuracy over there. Might have worked out for the Blue Jays.
Boy, what a break there. Can they take advantage? The batter is Jesus Sanchez. That hit him. Or did it hit the bat? What is the call from Brian Walsh? I guess he's saying it hit the bat. But there was no big gesture or call right away with his arms. And even Joe Espada isn't sure. And Espada says, we want to challenge. And Walsh is saying, no, we called it a foul ball. And Bill Miller, the crew chief, says, is everybody speaking the same language here?
The call on the field is foul ball.
Call on the field is foul ball. Blue Jays are not challenging. It was the right call. You can hear the booing, but it looked like it hit the knob of the bat. So it's 0-1. Another great scoring opportunity here for the Blue Jays. Can they take the lead? Now it's 0-2.
Batter's challenging the strike call.
And Sanchez is challenging here on a pitch that looked like it was a strike and was by plenty.
Call is confirmed. The pitch is a strike. Toronto has one challenge remaining.
So the Blue Jays down to one challenge. And a swing and a miss. Guerrero will take second, but Sanchez strikes out for out number 2. And Guerrero should be credited with a stolen base there. But now there are 2 outs in the inning.
Fastball, fastball, fastball. This fastball 100 miles per hour up in the zone.
So second and third, 2 down, and here's Okamoto. And he lines one into left for a base hit. In comes Springer. In comes Guerrero. And Okamoto has done it again. A 100-mile-an-hour fastball that Kaz Okamoto turned around and lined hard into left, and it is 6-4 Blue Jays.
RBIs 47 and 48. Where would the Blue Jays be without this guy? Clutch, always ready for the fastball.
Now Valenzuela, and it's ball 1. I mean, Okamoto, a 2-run single today, a home run and a double last night, the 3-run homer to break the 5-5 tie Saturday at Wrigley, game after game after game. You know, we talk a lot about OPS and great numbers, very meaningful numbers, but RBIs are big.
Still count.
Right, driving in those runs.
The game, Dan, is played by one column up there, and it's the R column, and if you drive him in, nice.
And he has been doing that better than anybody on this team.
And they keep throwing him heaters. That's why you don't have to worry so much about, can he hit the sweeper, can he hit the slider away? I mean, maybe, but if you stay on it, you don't miss them, you could still be productive.
Valenzuela hits it a long way down the right field line, but he's hooked it foul. Springer walked to get it going with 1 out. Guerrero reached on the Pearson error. on the bad throw to first after the Sanchez strikeout. Okamoto drives in a pair. And a spinning swing and a miss by Valenzuela to win the inning. But one more look at the guy who keeps getting it done for the Toronto Blue Jays. Kazuma Okamoto with a 2-run line drive single. A couple come in, and it's a 2-run lead going to the 9th. Will it be Gavin McKenna who puts on a Maple Leaf jersey Friday night? Tune in to the 2026 NHL Draft Friday night at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Sportsnet. Well, it didn't look good early, but it has really turned in the favor of the Blue Jays. They are up 6-4 right now. A really good job by the bullpen. We shouldn't forget what they have done. And after the Okamoto 2-run single, a 2-run lead, and Tyler Rogers is on here in the 9th inning.
Threw 19 pitches last night in a scoreless 8th inning. Gave up 2 hits, big double play, and then another ground out. Facing the top of the order. Typically in for holds, but this one will be for save with Louis Varland down.
Davis Schneider in left now for Jesus Sanchez. Rogers facing a lot of the same guys he faced last night, and again, as Caleb just mentioned, but if you may not have picked up on it, Louis Varland clearly unavailable today. Has pitched 2 of the last 3 days. 40 pitches in all. So here's Rogers, who is the 6th pitcher of the ball game. Altuve is 2 for 4. And he lines it into right center for a base hit, his 3rd hit of the ball game. And all of a sudden that means, as we get another look at the base hit by Altuve, that means Yordan Alvarez is stepping in as the tying run. Alvarez 1 for 3 with a walk. The one was a double. And he hits a looper to shallow left, and that will drop for a base hit. He did not make great contact, but he found a spot in the outfield, and now 2 men are on.
Not how you want to start the inning, but I'll take a single from Alvarez. Looks like Schneider slips just a little bit. Not sure even if he doesn't slip in left field, he's able to catch this baseball, but you got a double play candidate in Walker. He got him to ground out into a 4.63 last night. Had him smother a sinker. 2-ball would be big right here.
Ball 1. Walker 0 for 4, as Caleb mentioned, the double play ball against Rogers in yesterday's game. Outside, 2-0. Altuve at second, Alvarez at first. And that's a strike, and a much needed strike on the outside corner with the knees. 2-1. The Astros do not have any ABS challenges remaining. The Blue Jays still have 1. 2-2. So no Varland today. Rogers on in the 9th, trying to close it out. Popped up. Foul territory. Guerrero calls off Valenzuela for out number 1. Now it'll be Isaac Paredes, who walked against Rogers in the 8th inning last night. Line drive, center field, and it's down for a base hit. And the bases are now loaded for the Astros. Good contact from Paredes.
Watch where Varsho is. Because of the direction of this baseball, both base runners have to sort of freeze here, and this might have been a bullet dodged by the Blue Jays. If this is in the gap, they might be in business, but because it's close to Varsho, Altuve has to kind of wait and read, doesn't want to get doubled off, and now there's a double play still in order.
And the guy who matters, if Altuve scores, it's still a one-run game. It's Alvarez out at second. He is not a fast runner at all. Here's Joey Loperfido, the last bench player, who is going to pinch hit for Jake Myers. And it's outside, ball one.
Which is a little bit interesting considering Alvarez is the tying run. Wondered if they might pinch run Loperfido at second base and let Myers hit.
Fouled off, a ball and a strike. Yeah, do you want your faster runner at second representing the tying run, or do you want what you feel is a better matchup at the plate? The 1-1. And it's fouled off again by Loperfido, 1-2. Braden Fisher just popped up on the top deck. He's starting to throw. Bases loaded, one out. And the 1-2 pitch fouled back by Loperfido. And on the other side, if Houston can at least tie it, Josh Hader would come in. Rogers sets, and again the 1-2, and it misses off the plate to even it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Altuve at third, Alvarez at second, Paredes at first, and the 2-2 pitch. Tapped, foul, or was that catcher's interference? That was catcher's interference. And Loperfido will go down to first, and a run will come in, and it's 6-5.
Can't happen. John Schneider's going to come out and ask for an explanation. Doesn't matter how late the swing is, even if you're catching the ball and you feel like it's in your mitt and there's a late check swing, you still, that's it right there, you're still vulnerable. Doesn't matter if it's late. It's a very late decision by Loperfido. Watch the glove come up to frame. Late out and around swing by Loperfido.
The call on the field is catcher's interference. Toronto is changing the call.
The Blue Jays will challenge the call.
I don't know what you're challenging.
This video review is brought to you by Specsavers.
But if Loperfido goes on the initial reaction, he's not going to be that deep, but it's a wait. Look at the delay. See how his hands kind of paused right there? That's him trying to guard against it and then tries to make a move at the last second. And that's right when the catcher's glove is getting fully extended to frame the baseball.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. It was catcher's interference. Toronto will lose their challenge.
So it was a 2-2 count when that pitch was thrown, and now Loperfido's at first. A run is in. The tying run is at third base, and the batter is Cam Smith. And can Rogers get that ground ball that he's looking for? Not here. It's in the air to left. Schneider coming over, makes the catch, but Alvarez tags. And it's a tie game. A sacrifice fly for Cam Smith to make it 6-6.
Boy, the catcher's interference really comes back to haunt the Blue Jays. First pitch off the end of the bat, but because there's loaded, it's deep enough to tie the game.
And Rogers isn't out of it just yet. The batter now is Jeremy Pena with runners at first and second and 2 down. And a high chopper towards second. Urias in time on a very close play. But the Astros get 2 runs. There's no challenge coming. Houston gets 2. It's tied going to the bottom of the 9th. One more game coming between the Astros and the Blue Jays, and it's tomorrow night. And as you can see, Trey Savage is fired up about it. He will be on the mound, coming off an outing in Boston where he went 7 1/3. Blue Jay Central, 6:30 Eastern Time, first pitch 7:07. What a game here today. The Blue Jays got 2 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead, and the Astros just answered with 2 to tie it up in the top of the 9th. And now Houston has its closer on the mound. Not a safe situation, obviously, but just trying to get it to extra innings. Josh Hader, who missed the first 2 months of the season with biceps tendonitis and has not been very hittable by the opposition since he has returned. He is tough. Started with Milwaukee a number of years there, 2 years with San Diego, 3rd season with Houston. As Varsho fouls it back 0-2. And Joey Loperfido is staying in the game in left. Matthews has moved back to center. Oh, 2 on Varsho, who's had a big day. 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a home run. One ball, 2 strikes. And a liner to first, caught by Walker, 1 down.
2-pitch mix for the 32-year-old Hader. Heavy sinker, big bender in the slider. 232 career saves. Obviously not a save opportunity, but he has been dominant for 10 years in the big leagues.
We have not seen Kirk in the game yet today. We have not seen Clement in the game yet today. Here is Urias, who hit his first home run as a Blue Jay today. His first game as a Blue Jay. Had a base hit in the second, homered in the 4th. Has struck out and grounded out since. Tried to check it and succeeded. It's 2-0. Now 3-0. Six runs, 14 hits, and 1 error for the Astros. 6 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error for the Blue Jays. Lots of action here today. Taking all the way, he'll look at a strike, 3-1. Ernie Clement has a helmet on. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Helped him out a little bit there. Lucas on deck. Full count pitch. Way up in the air, shallow left center. And Loperfido makes the catch for the 2nd out. And now Hader will face another left-handed batter as Nathan Lucas comes up. Again, they've only got Clement and Kirk on the bench, and neither one of them an outfielder. Ernie's out on deck to hit for Andres Jimenez if it gets that far. Up high, ball 1. Tyler Rogers giving up a couple of runs in the 9th inning, but it bears repeating. The catcher's interference obviously was a big play. This game, could have been over. There's a strike, 1-1. But the Astros also put some pretty good swings on him, hit some line drives. One and two. It's probably a game where both sides are thinking, man, if they had done this differently or that differently, both probably lamenting some moments here today. Outside. We saw Hader starting to move towards the first base dugout, but it was outside the zone. This is a tough at bat for a left-handed hitter. Good take, 3-2. I mean, it's a tough at bat for a right-handed hitter too, but it's really tough for a left-handed hitter.
Especially with the sweeping type action of that breaking ball and the arm side run that Hader can potentially have. Sidearm crossfire.
And Lucas strikes out to end the inning. And it is on to extra innings here at Rogers Center. Here at Rogers Center, Houston got 2 in the top of the 9th to tie it. It is 6-6, and pitcher number 7 here today for the Blue Jays, the big right-hander Braden Fisher.
1 1/3 scoreless yesterday. Just 6 pitches. Hyper efficiency will start with Pena, the designated runner at second base here in extra innings, but it'll be back-to-back for Fisher.
Jeremy Pena is the runner for the Astros out at second. It's 8-9-1 in the Houston order. This is Bryce Matthews, who squares and gets it down. Fisher's only play is to first, and he'll make it. A sacrifice for Matthews, Pena to third.
You see so many visiting teams try and score 2. I've always thought that was a flaw, just me personally, and I might be out on an island here, but I just feel like score a run, pressure, and then tell your guy to throw up a 0.
Definitely more common for the home team to do what Houston just did than the road team.
Usually the road team, they just go for it. They try and score 2.
Infield in. Here's Christian Vasquez, his first at bat. As he takes outside, ball 1. That's high, ball 2. So one thing to note, if you are out of challenges after 9, you get 1 back in extra innings. So Houston now has 1 back. The Blue Jays don't get another one. It's just if you're out. Foul back, 2-1. Well, it feels almost imperative to get Vasquez. You've got Altuve, who suddenly is a hot hitter on deck. Infield in for the Blue Jays. Bounced foul, and it's 2-2.
And Vasquez is a bit of a pesky hitter, a veteran, been around a long time. Usually fastballs that are close to him, he'll shoot towards that opposite field with 2 strikes. There is some swing and miss on Chase, but he does have some pretty good plate coverage on the outer half. The infield in, just trying to get that runner in from third.
Pena the lead at third, and the Fisher 2-2 is popped up in foul territory. It'll be Guerrero making the play. 2 down. A big out for Fisher. Now he's got to deal with Altuve. And activity in the Houston pen. Logan Van Wy is up, so it looks like maybe just 1 inning for Josh Hader. Altuve 3 for 5, 2 singles and a double, and a ground ball to short. Jimenez has it, and what a job by Braden Fisher. To the bottom of the 10th, 1 run wins it. To the bottom of the 10th in a 6-6 tie. Braden Fisher just got out of it. Runner at second, then runner at third, 1 out. Got 2 very big outs. And now the Blue Jays need 1 to win it. It'll be Nathan Lucas, the runner, out at second. And the hitters due up are Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. facing an inexperienced pitcher here in Logan Van Wy. Not a lot of time with this Houston team.
Pitched last night, 3 consecutive singles to Springer, Lucas, and Guerrero Jr. Kirk hit a sac fly to score a run, then induced a double play. Houston's infield is in on the corner. See if Jimenez squares around to deaden it.
Right. Does he square, or do they just trust him to pull the ball on the ground?
Bunt.
He squares, and he bunts it foul, 0-1.
Christian Walker's going to be coming in pretty hard from first base. Good thrower there at first base. 3 Gold Gloves. Check out how deep that bat. Look how he's moving backwards. You got to stick your nose in there. Get that bat head out front. Stay in there.
Squares again. And gets it down. Only play to first. And Jimenez with the sacrifice to advance Lucas to third.
Gets the job done. Gets that bat head out front. See the angle trying to go towards third base. Gets a little bit of the bottom half of the ball, but not enough to keep it in the air for an Astro to secure it.
So the infield obviously has to come in for the Astros here. The batter is George Springer, trying to walk it off. Way inside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. And it's tapped up the middle. Lucas is not testing it. He will stay at third. Springer grounds out for out number 2.
He's just simply fooled. Got to an advantage count, 1-0. Breaking ball in the outer half. It's up to Vladdy.
Infield backed up, obviously now with 2 outs. As Guerrero hits it to center field. But it is going to be caught on the edge of the warning track. And it is on to the 11th. So neither team able to score in the 10th inning, and it's on to inning number 11. Braden Fisher is back out there to work his 2nd inning out of the bullpen after doing a great job in the top half of the 10th. Jose Altuve is going to be the runner out at second for the Astros. And the first batter, Caleb, is Yordan Alvarez, and he's already down at first base. The Blue Jays have intentionally walked him. So they'll put another man on base, but they don't want to mess with him at all. And it'll be Christian Walker coming up with runners at first and second and nobody out.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to Altuve here. Last thing you want is for him to take off, secure third base so that sac fly can score you an easy run. Already stole third base once in this series.
A look back by Fisher. And a strike to Walker. None of the Astros with much experience at all against Braden Fisher, just in his 2nd year in the big leagues. The only Astros hitter who has seen Fisher more than once is Jake Myers, and he's out of the game. A few of them have one at bat against him, including the man at the plate right now, with Walker. front 1-2. If they need another arm, it's going to be Simeon Woods Richardson. The only two guys left are Louis Varland, who's obviously down, and Simeon Woods Richardson. So Woods Richardson is up. Swing and a miss. Fisher strikes him out for out number 1.
This registers as a slider, but it almost acts like a split-fingered fastball the way that this thing backs up. Look at his fingers over it, but look at the action just moving down and in towards Walker, and he's just out in front of it.
Now Isaac Paredes, who has never faced Braden Fisher. Paredes 2 for 5 with an RBI in this game. Ball 1. A look back at Altuve, and a foul off, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, I like breaking balls with more depth to Isaac Paredes. I do think there's a chance. I know he doesn't throw it very often. I do think there's a chance to kind of get him with velocity up top, if you'd like, up out over the zone.
Tries a slider again and misses outside. Ball 2.
If you can get it up and close to him, maybe once you get to 2 strikes. Look at this.
Tarps off.
Might have to join him.
No, thanks.
Okay, all right.
As you were.
Oh, it did work out this morning, Dan. These guys are ready.
This is kind of a thing that's been taken over baseball. I think it started in St. Louis a few weeks ago, and it's spread to a bunch of other ballparks. It's up at the 500 level down the right field line here. That's in there at the knees, and it's 3-2. This young man's pitched in a lot of leverage in his year and a half in the big leagues. Full count pitch. Got it. 2 down.
Don't let the baby face fool you on Braden Fisher. He's not going to show a ton of emotion, but trust me, folks, there's a ton of fire in that belly, and he's a competitor. He ain't just going to give in. He's out there, like Dan just mentioned, over and over and over in big spots and just doesn't give it a second thought.
So first and second, 2 outs, and the batter is Joey Loperfido, who reached on catcher's interference in the 9th inning. Curveball, strike 1 called. Overcooked that one. Tried to throw the best slider he's got and bounced it in, and a good job by Valenzuela.
Yeah, very difficult block for the catcher. Watch how far out in front this ball bites, and a lot of times you don't know how high it's going to kick up. You see him raise his body up to center it in that belly to make it dead and right in front.
Ground ball foul, 1-2. Fisher has thrown 20 pitches in the outing, and to your point, he's not thrown a fastball yet. Now, he's always heavy breaking ball, but never 100%. He's got them on their feet here at Rogers Center. And the 1-2 pitch is hit hard, deep down the right field line. Gone! It's a 3-run home run for Joey Loperfido. And the Astros have taken a 9-6 lead. The former Blue Jay, comes back to Toronto and hits a tie-breaking 3-run homer here in the 11th.
Slow curveball. Nestling middle, down and in. He's able to keep it fair.
That was the only question. You could see it in his eyes. He knew he had the distance. Would it stay fair?
And first off the bat, it looked like it might start to hook foul, but it just straightened out.
Boy, that's got to feel good whenever you come back and face your old team. And at one point or another, both of these teams his old team, but to get traded back to Houston and to come back to Toronto and have a hit like that in a moment like this. Three and one. The count now on Cam Smith.
Yeah, it's just the problem when you don't ever mix in any sort of velocity to change the push and pull aspect. You can have two different breaking balls, but less room for error.
Fly ball left field. Schneider over, and he makes the catch. A 3-run lead for the Astros going to the bottom of the 11th. Perfido, the former Blue Jay, a 3-run home run just fair down the right field line. The Astros lead 9-6.
Curveball, slider, curveball. He was in an advantage count, and he was able to take advantage of a mistake. That's why you got to change the eye level from time to time. I know it's a pitch that Fisher doesn't throw with tons of, not conviction, but just, what's the word I'm looking for, Dan?
Just doesn't throw it very often.
Doesn't throw it very often, but you got to change it at times.
So Guerrero's the runner out at second. Davis Schneider, Kaz Okamoto, and Brandon Valenzuela are the hitters coming up for the Blue Jays. They need 3 to tie. A little bit high, 2-0. Schneider, as we all know, can work a walk. And yeah, he'd love to hit one out of the ballpark, but if he can work a walk, all of a sudden the tying run comes to the plate. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Got tied up on that one. Could not get that winning run home in the bottom of the 10th, and then gave up 3 in the top half of the 11th. And Schneider lifts a sky-high fly ball to left, deep but playable. Perfido there, 1 down. Now it'll be Okamoto, and it looked like the 2-run single Okamoto had in the bottom of the 8th inning might stand up as the winner, but then Houston got 2 in the top of the 9th to tie it. He's had another very good day. Outside for ball 1. If the Blue Jays can get this thing going a bit, get down near the bottom of the order, they still have Kirk and Clement on the bench. Base hit into left field, and it's going all the way to the wall. Guerrero is in to score. Okamoto will head back to first, but another big hit, an RBI single, and it's 9-7.
It's been the fastballs earlier in the game, but now it's a sweeper. He's just really hammering anything that's close to him or that he can pull. He's really out in front, staying behind the ball. The ball's getting elevated from time to time. Earlier in the year, he was smothering these balls, but he's getting behind them now.
So now Brandon Valenzuela comes up as the tying run. with Dalton Varsho on deck. Valenzuela 0 for 4 with a walk in this game. Ooh, and a challenge coming here from Valenzuela. He thought it was low. And he is correct. So the Blue Jays still have one challenge. And it's a 1-1 count on Valenzuela. 1 on, 1 out, 2-run game. Way outside. Urias a couple of spots away, and he's still got a bat in hand. Let's see if the Blue Jays can get it that far. Walker playing off the bag a little bit, kind of behind Okamoto at first. Ball 3. Kirk urging on his teammate. Caleb, this has been a lot of baseball game here today. A lot going on in this one. The 3-1. Now full.
And you know Valenzuela wants to do something big after that catcher's interference in the ninth. That just kind of led the Astros back into this game, but he's going to take his time out right here and just catch his breath. Can't give in. You got to still be patient right here. Got another rookie on the mound, and don't let him off the hook.
The 3-2. And a bouncer to first. They'll get Okamoto, and it's off the glove of Van Wyck covering. That would have ended the ball game. But Valenzuela, as frustrated as he is down the line, is safe at first, and the Blue Jays still have an out left.
Well, Walker gets this ball over to Pena, and Pena's got a little arm side run on this pitch. Van Wyck, pardon me, is just not able to corral it. A lot of times you see awkward footwork for pitchers trying to run over. This will bring the pitching coach out for a visit just to slow things down. And a lot of times this is a good mound visit. You got a pitcher that just ran over to first. You got the clock involved. Varsho's already having a huge game here in the 7th inning. Gets to a changeup on the outer half. That sent a jolt of energy into this stadium. He's been really pulling the ball with authority. See if he can deliver yet another big hit for the Blue Jays in this game.
They're down to their final out. Varsho representing the tying run. He's also got a couple of doubles today. 3 for 5. A big afternoon. And the first pitch from Van Wyck is in for a strike. They are trying to get over 500 for the first time since early April. But they are down to their final out. Foul out of play left side, and now they're down to their final strike. Varsho waiting, and Van Wyck sets. And the 0-2 inside of the knees. Ball 1. Walker playing behind Valenzuela at first. And now the 1-2 pitch way upstairs. Ball 2. Van Wyck sets one more time. The 2-2 pitch. And Varsho hits a little one-hopper on the infield. Altuve's got to hurry, and he gets him, and that is the ball game. A wild one here at Rogers Center today. The Blue Jays cannot win it with a couple of earlier opportunities and wind up losing 9-7 to fall back below 500.
It just seems like 500 is just the mark that continues to plague the Toronto Blue Jays. There was a game here to be had, and I guarantee you everybody in that dugout right there is going back into the dressing room, locker room, thinking we just let that one slip away. There was a lot of good on offense, but the margins still are so tight for this team until they really get going that you can't give away anything out there. And there were a couple giveaways, couple turnovers, and the Astros were able to take advantage of it. And that guy right there came back to Rogers Center and had a huge 3-run swing.
Joey Loperfido with the 3-run home run. That is the biggest difference in this game. Rubber match of this series tomorrow night. Treyus Savage on the mound for the Blue Jays, and we will have it for you then. But right now it is time for Blue Jays Central with Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker.